Hard to believe there's been 10 years worth of NASCAR Xfinity racing now at Road America, and the fans have loved it every year. It presents a different style of racing than IMSA sports cars or IndyCar racing, but it's something they really love to watch, and it's a unique challenge for these drivers to go left and right on the Road America road course. Before we get things started today, we need to head downstairs for some pre-race ceremonies. Stand by.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask at this time you please rise and remove your hats as the Army National Guard of Wisconsin Plymouth Recruiting Retention Battalion presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Pastor Peitsch of Grace Lutheran Church, Elkhart Lake, offers today's invocation.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Lord, our Creator, Savior in the flesh, and guiding Holy Spirit, we are a misguided, sinful, and tempted world. We ask your forgiveness for the sake of Christ and the guidance of your Holy Spirit. Thank you for bringing us safely here to celebrate you and to display our faith to others we meet. We ask that you bring healing and comfort to all, especially those affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Continue to draw us together as a nation to work to do your will for our world. Bless our president, governors, magistrates who desire to lead us in a godly manner. Guide those who serve to keep our nation and communities safe at every level as they carry out their vocations in a God-pleasing manner. Keep us all safe from harm and danger. Bless those who work in the pits, those who sit in the stands, and those who drive. Bless our time in competition. Grant us safety in our journey home. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Assistant Fire Chief of the City of Sheboygan, Charles Butler.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let's hear it for Charles Butler.
Thank you, Chief. Great way to get started honoring America before racing at Road America.
Chase Briscoe, his 5th win already in 2020.
It's Gragson out in front all by himself.
On consecutive nights, Austin Cindric will take the checkered flag.
Burton's going back to victory lane in NASCAR. Harrison Burton wins again in 2020.
And now it's Road America in the Henry 180 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, the location. On a day dotted with some sprinkles, but mostly gorgeous and sunny. See Chase Briscoe there. Told us he needed 8 wins this year to make himself legit. He's got 5. And to get 3 more before the playoffs even. Let's see. She's getting all ready here. So for you diehard race fans, you get a chance to create your best rendition of the iconic Start Your Engines for a chance to be featured during Indy 500 pre-race coverage, plus a chance to win an Advance Auto Parts gift card. Submit your video at callingalldiehards.com, and don't forget to tweet with hashtag IndyCar and hashtag WhyIamADiehard. Boys, you want to practice that?
You got it.
Have you ever done Start Your Engines? DJ?
I did.
Yeah? Where was
yes.
that?
Daytona, after I retired.
Oh, fantastic.
For the Coke 400 down there.
And did you give it the Matthew McConaughey or something to that degree?
You know, I tried to do it, but just as I was doing it, the planes were flying over, and I couldn't hear myself, so I don't even know what it sounded like.
Well, this would be a great contest, and make sure you go to callingalldiehards.com and submit your effort there, and maybe you can be on television. These guys are about to be on television here. We see them getting strapped in there, Dale, and the cockpit's so important on these road courses.
Yeah, it really is, and not having an opportunity, I always found that I needed things a little bit different. I used the heel and toe method, so I had to get my brake pedal and gas pedal exactly right, and you want to feel comfortable in there. This is a tough 4.5-mile road course, and these guys got to have it right inside. But no practice, no qualifying, no way of knowing until you get in there, Jeff. It had to be pretty cool to hear Harrison Burton wins again on that what we just ran there.
Yeah, that's always fun to hear that. And one thing about the cars too, I think that they are all extremely happy. I know most of them don't want it to rain, but the coolness, it's way cooler than it normally is this racetrack, and that'll make this race just a little bit easier for these guys.
Perfect racing conditions. All we have to do now is get those engines fired.
And now for the most famous words in motorsports, representing Henry Rifles, Tim Schrader, Senior Vice Commander, Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 9156, Michael Meeson, Chief of Police, the Elkhart Lake Police Department, and Carrie Pinchart, Paramedic with Orange Cross Ambulance.
Drivers, start your engines!
First submission right there. Not bad at all. Engines are fired. When we come back, we'll talk topics of the day and show you the starting lineup before green. The second half of the NASCAR season, this stretch of the road has always been tough. You've got to prove yourself every week. NASCAR and NBCSN today at 4 Eastern from Michigan. The best racing is now. Of course, Dale and Jeff will be heading a couple of different directions to join the broadcast and bring you all the action from Michigan. Part of a doubleheader. What a weekend of racing it is. What a year of racing it's been so far. The playoff standings look like this in the Xfinity Series. Chase Briscoe, Austin Cindric up top. And then that all-important cut line, only 12 make it to the playoffs in the Xfinity Series. You can see right now Brandon Brown holding that last stop. Now, the regular season points are a little bit outside of that, but they are so important. Dale, why is that? A big 15 points, right?
Yeah, 15-point bonus for the winner of the regular season. You can see Cindric ahead by 4 right there right now. Second is 10, and then third it goes down to the 5. So there's still a lot to race for and a lot of battles within that. So these two drivers keep battling that out.
Yep, I think third gets 8 and then fourth gets 5. They are so important, though, because those are playoff points that travel with the driver throughout the rounds of the playoffs. And so critical right now. Chase Briscoe with the most of those on the season, mostly off of those 5 wins. So let's talk about a couple of players today. Maybe if you weren't with us earlier, Jeff Burton, the big 2 so far, Cindric and Briscoe, have been the show to watch.
Yeah, and that's going to continue today. They're both very good road racers. I think Austin Cindric, the skills he has on a road course are really, really good. But Chase Briscoe has matched those skills. And now, with Cindric just taking that point lead you guys just talked about, Briscoe knows that. He needs to go get those points back. Because if you want to have a chance to advance all the way through these playoffs, you're going to need every point you can get.
And DJ, how about for you?
Yeah, I'm going to look at 2 drivers that are going to try to end this streak of 10 races, 10 different winners. I'm going to look at A.J. Allmendinger. Obviously, he's come from the back, but he's so skilled at this and really, really good. He'll be in the mix. The other is Justin Allgaier. If there's a driver out there that's in need of a win, it's Justin Allgaier. And he's won here before, really good on these road courses. Look for him to be in the mix today.
And that Bright Orange 7, we talked to him this week, Dale, about the current situation he's in. It's one of those downtrends that you get in racing sometimes.
Gosh, yeah, and and sometimes the harder you try, the more things seem to go against you. But he's kept a good, positive attitude. I also talked to his crew chief, Jason Burdett, this week, somewhat about their strategy and the new pit rules, but more about the attitude and how do you stay confident and keep your driver focused on everything that they need to do to get themselves situated for the playoffs, trying to win a championship.
See Burdett there on and off of the pit box, the crew getting ready and moving things around. Let's take a look at the numbers for this race today at Road America. 45 laps, we mentioned it. The stages are 14, 15, and 16. 40 miles per hour on pit road, just a tick over 180 miles. It's going to go quick today, Jeff. The stages are quite short, but the laps are long.
It is going to go quickly, and you mentioned how long the laps are, and if you make a mistake on this racetrack, it can really bite you as well. We've seen a lot of impacts. We've seen a lot of people get real aggressive, and I think that race length of 45 laps, that gets in your head, because it is even though the racetrack is long, as a driver, 45 laps is nothing, and I think that increases the intensity right off the start.
You can see the drivers getting lined up there. By the way, that car on the left, that black number 1, that's Michael Annett, who will start on the pole today. Third straight race, the random draw has fallen to his favor. I had to call in and ask, so how are they doing this now? Well, a NASCAR official picks the pill every week. And one of the other drivers said, yeah, it must be weighted. And that, the third race in a row that he is on the pole. Let's head back down to pit road, and the fourth member of our broadcast team, Parker Kligerman. Hey, Parker.
Hey, Dave. Well, Michael Annett's teammate, Justin Allgaier, as you were talking about, DJ, comes in this race as a road course winner. 3 wins on road courses. Has one here at Road America, and probably one of the most experienced drivers in this field. But his season has not gone to plan this year. They've had many issues on that 7 car. And so I talked to him about how does he use that experience to his advantage. He said, still, even with all the experience he has, it comes down to preparation. If he doesn't prepare for races like this, even if he's been here before and he's won here before, if he doesn't prepare as high a level as everyone else, he will falter, and therefore he told me he uses the same preparation tools he's used every time he's come to a road course, coming here to Road America today.
Well, he'll be one to watch. Maybe can turn things around here at the 4-mile road course of Road America. Let's show you how they lined up with that random draw. We mentioned Michael Annett. To his outside, that road course guy, now turned 3-time oval winner, Austin Cindric. Row 2, familiar faces, Justin Haley, 11 car, and Harrison Burton in the 20. Check out row 3, Kaz Grala. That rotating seat in the 21 this year falls to the young man from Boston, and Riley Herbst, the Las Vegas native, in the 18. Chase Briscoe, one of the big 2, and Brandon Jones, winner of the last race on the series, that back at Kansas. Row 5 will look this way. Noah Gragson from Las Vegas and Daniel Hemrick, another rotating seat. He jumps in the Junior Motorsports number 8 for Road America. Ross Chastain, the Florida watermelon farmer, he'll drive a 10-car super fast today next to Allgaier, who we've already explained needs a rebound. Row 7 looks like this. Brandon Brown just above the cut line going for the championship, and Jesse Little from North Carolina. Stephen Light and Ryan Sieg in row number 8. They'll be trying to stay on track and make their way forward. And then row 9 looks like this. Jeffrey Earnhardt, always good to have an Earnhardt in the show. He'll take that. And Jeremy Clements trying to work his way into the playoffs just below the cut line coming in. Jade Buford, road course expert, coming in here to drive one of Johnny Davis's cars today. And Mike Wallace, also in a Johnny Davis Motorsports car, making another start after Indy earlier this year. Alex Labbe got penalized this week, but he'll try to recover from that. And that was from a little testing that NASCAR didn't approve of. Josh Williams in the 92 car from Florida. Row 12, 23rd and 24th starter Andy Lally, the veteran road course racer, in a good ride from Our Motorsports this year. And R.C. Anderson, another driver who made it through the Indy Lights ranks to come and race on this track in a stock car. Row 13 gives you Bailey Curry and Joe Graff Jr. in the 08 car. Row 14, 27th and 28th starters today. Scott Heckert, a guy who's had many road course races, and Cody Vanderwall, his very first one was 2 races ago at the Indianapolis road course. Myatt Snyder trying to make his way into the playoffs in the 93 car, and Josh Bilicki made his first Xfinity Series start here, just making phone calls saying, hey, do you have a place I can race? Chad Fincham will drive for the 66 team today, and Kyle Weatherman will drive the 47 back in row 16. Row 17 looks this way. There's the Dinger all the way back starting 33rd, and Vinnie Miller to his outside in the 5 car. 14th row, there's Jesse Owuzie, sometime commentator for us here on NBC, sometime racer. He'll make his first Xfinity Series start. And Tommy Joe Martin's driving a car he owns and maintains. 19th row, all by himself, Preston Pardus, a good road course racer who this year is driving the 36 car for Mario Goslin. He'll start all the way in the back. He'll make a lot of passes this day, I can tell you. So, Jeff, we see this every week on the sighting lap. They come down pit road here. What's everybody checking?
Everybody's looking at tachometers just to get their pit road speed, to make sure that all the tachometers lined up correctly, so that information is given correctly. And I think a lot of people will think, well, why would pit road speed matter with the pit stop rules? Well, they do matter, because if you come down to pit under green, you want to shorten it as much as you can, right? And we will see people pit under green, so you got to be careful not to get lax in speed on pit road, because that penalty could be really big, and it's not something you want to make happen today.
Parker?
Well, Jeff, there's a couple things going on here. One, NASCAR is actually going to send all the teams their time down pit road. Once they come down this and get done here, they'll all get an email of the exact time that their car took to roll down through pit lane, so they have an idea of that. And then also, many of the teams told me, the big key here is not speed as much as consistency. They want them to just be consistent so that they can factor that time in appropriately down pit road. So it's a little bit different of a game than what we normally have, with speed being the factor. Here it's just about being consistent and making sure, as you said, you're not too fast.
And Parker, that time on pit road is important too, because of the timed stops. Under green, you have to spend a minimum of 60 seconds on pit lane. That's yellow line to yellow line. And under caution, you can only spend a maximum of 80 seconds. So they want to know what kind of numbers they're dealing with. Number 13 today goes to Jesse Owuzie. DJ, can you think back and imagine to your first start in the Xfinity Series what must be going through his mind?
Yeah, I wasn't all that good at all the road courses I ever ran, but to go to this one for the first time. But it's so exciting as a driver to get that first opportunity as you move forward. As he said, he's just going to take this and look at it as a learning moment for him, and it'll be interesting to see how much better he is at the end of this day as where he started here and being careful.
Now, DJ, I remember you sitting on the pole at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Somebody claims the throttle stuck at one point, so that helped me.
Talk about Jesse. He's a remarkable young man. Here's his biography. We mentioned a couple of details about him. Here's one that I like. Football player, man. This guy was tough. Played for the Naval Academy. And, of course, serving his country. Sure appreciate, thank him for his service, but also know that racing was in the back of his mind as well. Got his start in the ARCA Series West and had a number of good starts there, including on the road courses. There he is there. Worked to find his way and really learn. And that's the whole thing. You talked about learning, talked about just learning today. Well, he's been doing that through the course of his career. And while he continues to serve in the Naval Reserves as a lieutenant commander, he races as much as he can. Again, helps us on pit road every once in a while. Brought some good perspective to, I think it was Kansas last time he was on. So the 32 back there, and Brandon Brown needing a push right now, and that is not great news for him. By the way, shout out to his dad, Jerry, who is normally at the races with him and has been since he started his career. Jerry is battling some health issues right now and is at home watching. Want to make sure that we remember him today and wish him the best as Brandon tries to make his way in. We'll get confirmation on what's wrong with the 68 as soon as we can. And this is not good, because there he is over on the right, guys, 12th, just 32 markers above. And when we talked to Chase Briscoe this week, he lost 30 points to Austin Cindric in the regular season points, so 30 can be made up easily by Clements. Parker?
Well, Dave, I was just listening to the radio of 68 Brandon Brown. Doug Randolph, the crew chief, was going through what they're going to do here when that car eventually gets back to pit lane. It sounds like it's lacking fuel pressure. So this is one of those things and one of those problems when we don't have practice. Remember, you don't get to run these cars. A lot of these teams are chassis dynoing these cars, but you can only learn so much on those, and sometimes things are just not right. So they're going to try and make some changes here to see if they can get the fuel pressure back in that 68.
Well, tough break there. Being pushed onto pit road now. And Doug Randolph and crew will go take a look at that and see what they can find out. We'll have 2 onboard cameras for you today. This one will ride with Ross Chastain. It's the Nutrien Ag Solutions onboard camera. He has a couple of different looks, including that cool right front bumper shot. Hope that stays intact all day.
Yeah.
You never know. And then our other one is with his teammate Justin Haley. This is the leaf filter gutter protection cam. And here's the special camera here, the foot cam. Jeff, what do you think of that?
Yeah, that's going to be great to watch all day. As I said before, Justin Haley is a really good road racer. This will be really interesting to watch throughout the day. We'll learn something, and the competition will go back and watch this video too to see what they can learn from Justin Haley and the skills that he's using.
Again, Brandon Brown, no fuel pressure report from Parker in the 68 car.
You certainly hope that they can get back on this racetrack, get on the racetrack and get going. We showed those points a little while ago. This could really hurt them, obviously. Hopefully they can get this thing fired up.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest things to find too. If it's electrical, a lot of times you just put another battery in, you're fine. But trying to find a fuel pressure issue, or where is that coming from? Is that back in the trunk where the fuel cell is? Is it up front? Just very unfortunate for them.
So the first race of a doubleheader on NBCSN coming your way now. The NASCAR Xfinity Series from Road America later this afternoon, Michigan International Speedway. And the first of a doubleheader there for the Cup Series. They will go this afternoon and on into the early evening from MIS.
One thing I want you to look at real quick is the inexperience on the inside road. So you look behind the pole sitter, you have two drivers that have never raced here before. And on the outside road, there's a lot of experience. So will this outside lane be able to take advantage of that?
All the way up the hill. Big elevation change to come to the start-finish line. The black and white car, Michael Annett, he is the pole sitter. He has to get to the line first. The yellow car of Austin Cindric, he cannot beat him to the line, but he's going to try to beat him to turn number 1 as we get ready for action here at Road America. The NASCAR Xfinity Series is green. Good jump by Annett, but a lot of looking back there. Stay on the blacktop. Can everyone make it through turn 1?
Oh, Noel Gragson in that silver car, number 9 car. He was trying to take advantage of that inexperience.
Austin Cindric powering to the lead. Haley moves through to second.
And normally as a driver, you have a good idea of what to expect from your brakes. Do you have everything lined up properly as to what you want? But they have no practice, nothing. So they only go off of past experience here. And now they're getting ready to come to one of the highest braking areas that there is on this track.
Whoa, locking up the tires. That is Riley Herbst in the 18. He keeps it off at the back end of Annett. But we talked about the fact that you can't just change tires under green. If they're damaged, I mean really damaged, NASCAR may allow you to replace the damaged tire, but you can't just come in and say, I flat spotted them, I need new ones.
Yeah, flat spot's just going to cost you 2 laps if you have to change those tires under green. So these drivers have to keep that in mind throughout the afternoon.
Riley Herbst was here yesterday in a Trans Am car getting some lap time, and those Trans Am cars, they brake completely different than these cars. Maybe just overshot it just a little bit.
Yeah, that turn where he smoked him, Chase Briscoe told us that the difference between a GT car that he raced here a week ago and this car was 300 feet further into the turn in the lighter GT car. This one, you have to back way off early.
Yeah, it was impressive that Riley Herbst was able to do all of that. I don't think he hurt the tires there, but then not to run over someone else as you're trying to get that car slowed down or to get it wheel hopping and spin yourself out.
A lot of dicing through here. Oh, that blue car is Chaz Gralla. He gets to the inside, Kaz does, of Michael Annett. Michael Annett just trying to woe it down, getting to the turn. Too wide, 2 by 2.
Yeah, Chaz Gralla ran great here, finished 5th here last year. Only his 2nd race of the year. He tries to take advantage of these opportunities, so you know that he's going to be really aggressive here this afternoon.
And he's driving that RCR car. Ross Chastain getting aggressive. No surprises there, trying to jump on the outside. Kaz Gralla driving that RCR car. RCR has been really good at this racetrack.
That's right. Former winners here always bring the good equipment. And Chastain now moves. Remember, Chastain, Haley, and Allmendinger, they have a partnership with RCR, so their car's prepared right next door and get a lot of technical help from them. It's the 74 of Bailey Curry. He's got trouble. Heavily smoking now. He is off heading toward the final corner, turn 14, so he's just up there in 13.
Yeah, that's not very far off the track.
I didn't think so.
So he's going to be right there. This is probably going to bring out a caution here.
He was 30th when he pulled over. See Michael Annett going backward a little bit. The road course is not his forte per se. Doesn't want to be losing too many spots early on in the one car, as now Chase Briscoe in that black 98 gets through.
Yeah, but you also don't want to get overly aggressive here and think that, you know, I've got to make it up here. I can't lose too many spots. This is, even though we say 45 laps in short, it's a long afternoon around 4.5-mile road course.
And no lap time on the track whatsoever, no practice. So you're learning what your car can do. And by the way, most of these drivers aren't exactly high-skilled road racers. This is not what they grew up doing. So they haven't learned themselves where their braking zones are. All of this under green flag conditions.
I was thinking, too, if I'm Annett's crew chief, would I be wanting to save a little fuel here and maybe open up my strategy opportunities since I'm not one of the quicker cars?
There's definitely going to be opportunities for that, but everybody's going to be kind of learning on the fly, if you will, here this afternoon with the new pit procedures and exactly what we can do, because these stages are right there. 16 to 18 laps is your fuel window. So what can you do and spend less time on pit road, but yet not lose any track position?
Chastain making a move on the outside of Harrison Burton.
Yep, Curry's car is still stuck there, and that is going to bring out a full course caution.
Yeah, bad spot to be sitting right there as they come up over the hill.
Right, drivers exiting. You can see him there before they bolt back around and set up turn 14. The right-hander, that left-hander, just a little flip.
A little surprised
just off the line.
I'm sorry, a little surprised NASCAR let it go that long before throwing that caution.
Oh, and Tommy Joe Martins has had trouble in the 44 car. Damage and a tire down on that one. Well, caution had trouble for Scott Heckert, too, all over the place. We'll come back to Road America, set up exactly what happened to Curry and everybody else in Wisconsin. NASCAR Drive is your live race day companion. Follow your favorite drivers all race long with our high-definition in-car cameras, or select an alternate camera angle to see more of the action. Watch throughout the broadcast and select from up to 8 different cameras, or watch 4 at one time with multi-camera view. Visit NASCAR.com/drive or download the NASCAR mobile app today. Under caution for the first time at Road America, the Henry 180. Contested over 182 miles, actually, so don't forget that in your fuel calculations. Bailey Curry was stopped on track, and then Scott Heckert had issues. Tommy Joe Martins had a left front tire go down. It all seemed to happen at once there, guys, but they combined it into one caution. So.
They did, yes. Yep.
The leader, Austin Cindric, he took the lead into turn 1 over Michael Annett, the pole sitter, and has led every lap since. Justin Haley, Ross Chastain close behind. And our man AJ there in the 16 has made his way up to 20th position.
It'll get a little more difficult from this point forward, but he made a lot of passes there in a short amount of time.
And again, with no qualifying, these were set up by random draw, and that 16 car does not have a lot of owner's points, and so it was not able to select in the upper groups, so AJ had to start 33rd. Has already made up 13 spots.
So this NASCAR's called this a quickie yellow, meaning they're just going to come open pit road for one lap. So what that means under these new rules is you can only do one thing, meaning you can only put tires on or put fuel in if you're going to pit. You can never, in any circumstance, put fuel and tires on.
So they have, under the caution, they'll have a maximum of 80 seconds to get it done. That's rolling down the 118-foot yellow-to-yellow pit road and get your work done. Now the 18 car, we mentioned Briley Herbst, the yellow stripes there. Yep, he's going to go to pit lane here. They can do one or the other, as Jeff said, and make adjustments. And as long as they stay within the time limits, here maximum of 80 seconds, they're good. The question here is, if he wants to change those flat spotted tires, NASCAR has to approve that. Oh, no, he can change them now because it's under caution. Now. Yep, see? That's why we're doing this.
Yeah, no worries.
First time.
No worries changing them now, but he can only change tires. He cannot put fuel in. Parker.
Right, Jeff, and that is the call here on the 18, is to change tires, 4 tires. This was a huge savior for them. They were going to pit under green and changed those 4 tires for the flat spots, and that would have put them with a 2-lap penalty if that was not approved by NASCAR. So this caution coming out saved these guys because he was definitely about to come down pit road and change all 4 of those tires. Riley said basically a lot of the cars in front of him braked too early compared to what he was able to do and what he had learned in the Trans Am car, and therefore he locked the tires up trying to not run in the back of them. Unfortunate, but they got saved here with this caution.
Here's where the problems developed on those tires for Riley Herbst. I mean, that's a long way to just drag that tire.
And the problem was he couldn't lift off the he couldn't lift off the brake because the 1 car was right in front of him. He would have run all over the 1 car. So once you start dragging that tire, the only remedy for it is to get off the brake. And had he done that, he would have run right into Michael Annett.
See a few of the bullet points there for the alternative pitting, which NASCAR has set up for non-companion races, of which this is now the only one in the 2020 season. However, race director Wayne Auton did tell us that they are going to discuss this with the teams after they do it. Possibly later on this season use it in other places, but no guarantee of that. But it's certainly something they're going to learn from today. Field coming back around, they'll pick up the green flag, and we'll see the restart when we return. NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Perfect for race fans. And by Toyota. There's a little Toyota right there, having a good time. Fans are here this weekend, and Road America, give them credit. They have had IMSA racing here, IndyCar racing here, Historics, club racing, and there's about 6 races on the docket this weekend, half of them today. The fans have really had a good time at Road America this summer in a very, very strange year. Good for them to get out and see some racing in person.
Yeah, I heard them talking this week about the racetrack and how it's about 300 acres there. So they're able to bring people in, and everybody's able to get spread out and be away from everybody, from each other, and that's allowed people to come to the racetrack.
Yeah, I miss going up there to this place, Dave. It's such a cool track, and the little town, just so much character about the whole place.
It's still, I've been there twice in the last month, so yes, it still is a wonderful place to be. Coming to you today from downtown Charlotte. Of course, these guys will be heading out to various locations later today to broadcast the Michigan race coming up in the Cup Series. Those opening laps were pretty intense. Drivers making moves, and I thought I saw a little bit of damage on the Chase Briscoe car there. Wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of fenders crinkled in. And this is when Kaz Grala in the blue and white to your right, the one of Michael Annett getting squirrely right there.
Yeah, I think that's where Briscoe got into the back of him. And that's what we're going to see all day. That's road course racing, you know, not anticipating when the guy in front of you is going to brake, trying to take advantage of him, trying to outbrake him. That's what road course racing is about.
So the field is realigned. Austin Cindric, the yellow number 22, he has control of the restart. There will be a zone up there. You'll see the red lines on either side wall as they come up the hill and come to the start-finish line. Within that zone, he needs to go. If he doesn't go within the zone, well, then Justin Haley in the 11, he can take off. But no doubt Cindric will be on this one. A veteran of road course racing and now a veteran of the Xfinity Series is young Austin Cindric. There are the red lines. He waits a little bit late. Wow, pretty even restart. This could be interesting in turn 1.
Yeah, I've always thought that the later you wait, the more advantage you're giving to that other competitor on that front row there. You can see Haley staying right with him.
See that great view from Ross Chastain as his teammate Haley now slots in behind race leader Austin Cindric. Back a little further, the 39, that's Ryan Sieg. That's 02, that is Andy Lally. Road course expert, excited to get a good shot today at Road America.
Yeah, he's so good, and he takes equipment and probably moves it up 10, 12 spots every time that we watch him run inside the top 10 a lot.
Turn 5, the left-hander hard braking downhill and then uphill to turn 6. A quick left-hander and then a quick flip right in turn 7 heading down toward 8 in the carousel.
Teammates right here, Daniel Hemrick, Noah Graskin racing each other. Daniel Hemrick ran very well at this race in the past. He wasn't known to be a road racer, but he worked really hard and became a very good road racer. We'll see him some more today, I'm sure.
Annett, the 19 of Brandon Jones, side by side. And this is the long right-hand carousel. You have to just feather that throttle all the way through here before coming to one of the fastest part of the racetracks. And as Austin Cindric described, one of the most fun in a stock car, the kink right here.
Yeah, that's a part of the track these drivers tell me it really gets your attention. Of course, the stock cars aren't quite as fast as some others that do race there, but it still is very tough, mainly because of you add the speed and how narrow the tires are during that through that part of the course there.
Yeah, Austin told us it's fun in a stock car, but it's terrifying in anything else he's run through there at 30 or 40 miles an hour faster at that point. Good racing back here through the field. And just a reminder, lap 14 will be the first caution for a stage break. 2 laps before that, NASCAR will close pit road. So if there's any strategy to be played, it'll be around to lap 11 or 12 for these guys to duck down pit road. Maybe that's what we would expect to be a fuel call.
Yeah, you could see Jeremy Clements in that 51 car, former winner here, his first Xfinity win.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say up to inside the top 5 now.
Talked to Clements this week about his chances this weekend. They're always good, but that's the road course car that ran here last year and was an upgrade from the one that he won in. Very confident coming in here of his abilities and what they've got in the 51.
Does such a good job that they do not have the type of funding that some of these other teams have, don't have the type of staffing that he does. Oh, Briscoe, big trouble under braking. I don't know how he saved that car.
But he does, getting a challenge from Clements, but does not lose a ton of track position.
That's going to stack everybody up, though.
Yeah.
What happens is somebody has a problem, then everybody catches, and now everybody's trying to outbrake the next guy getting into the next corner. Look at what it's done. Look how it's brought everybody into this race.
And did he flat spot one of those tires right there? That was heavy braking for just a split second, but it only takes a split second to lock that up, and then you've got real problems.
See what happened to Chase Briscoe. Again, he's coming downhill. Elevation change of, I think it's 55 feet from 4 to 5, or 3 to 5. Oh, my goodness.
He dropped the right rear tire off into the grass, DJ.
Yeah.
He saves it. Wow.
And that, that's one of the things that really good road racers do is they use all of the road, meaning they get their tires right against the grass as they're making corners. And as they go to turn into the corner, you want to use as much of the racetrack as you can. There's real speed in doing that. Of course, the danger is, getting it off into the grass and you lose complete grip.
Parker?
And Jeff, just as we saw there from Chase Briscoe, you mentioned using on the racetrack. That particular braking zone is one of the most important on the racetrack, but it's also curved. And you try to straighten it a little bit, but it can catch you off guard because you don't see where you're going to end up as you crest that hill. So that's just one of those things where, jumping on this racetrack, you might get a little bit ambitious with how much room you're going to use there. And I think he just caught up with that. But that was a great save. Also, to add on to the car in front of him there, Jeremy Clements, this is big, guys. The problems that Brandon Brown is having, he came into this far out of the playoffs. This could be a huge swing in just this first quick stage, and especially with some of the talk amongst the bigger teams of pitting before the end of the stage. Jeremy Clements told me, we're running the end of the stage. We want stage points. He's in a great position right now.
That's a great point, Parker. Talked with him this week about his team in general. Just 4 full-time employees at Clements Racing. One of them includes his dad, who tunes the engines and, oh, by the way, changes tires today. So 64-year-old Tony Clements going over the wall for his son. And if you're just joining us, Brandon Brown had fuel pressure issues in the 68. That is the car that Clements is racing for that final spot into the playoffs. He's back on track now, 1 lap off the pace, down in 35th. Someone just queued up the shark music. There's AJ.
Yeah, this is quite a run that he's made up, trying to get past Justin Allgaier here for that 10th spot already.
And DJ, not a scratch on the car that I can see. That was what he talked about in the pre-race, was he thought he could get up through there, but he was afraid about damage in his car, but I don't see any damage whatsoever.
Looks good, drives fast. This very fast part of the course known as the kink will follow Allgaier, and with a good run off of there down to a heavy braking zone in Canada corner, see if he can get inside the 7. He's there.
Allgaier has a lot of road course victories. We expected him to be a contender today, but right now, just not the speed that either he or us expected to see from that 7 car.
Yeah, he was in the mix at Indy until they had a couple of issues, and so you expect him to be fast. But this is stage 1, and I think that they're setting themselves up to, whoa. Almost a lot of trouble there for Mike Snyder, as you can see, but was able to save that.
Yeah, that was a good save also. He was way around. Something we need to go back and talk about. Parker Kligerman talked about some of these teams may pit under green. Oh, look at that. That's Hemrick.
That is Hemrick.
Problem.
Trouble for the 8 car down the front straightaway. And if he's going that slow now, he's either going to turn right here and take it to the garage or go all the way back around. He's going to pull over and be off track. NASCAR is probably going to be forced to throw the yellow here. See if we can figure out what happened with Hemrick. No, he was already slow here. Look at that, Riley Herbst pulling out to pass Parker.
Yeah, Daniel Hemrick just came across radio and said that it blew up. He said going to a left-hander, the oil pressure went crazy, and then it went away, and the engine quit. So I think this might be terminal for the 8 car there. Really unfortunate, Daniel. He was really looking forward to this road course. Loves this place.
Tough day for that Junior Motorsports car there.
Also, guys, see the cautions out for oil on the racetrack from that car. The other thing, you know, he does not get to race a lot, and we've seen it with Jeb Burton, we've seen it with Daniel Hemrick. When you have a bad race, you know, mechanical problem or anything like that, it really hurts you badly because the seat time that you get is diminished. And all these other guys race every weekend, and it's a big disadvantage. So unfortunately for Daniel, only on lap 7 to have a problem. Lap 7 to have a problem. It hurts him in more ways than just in this single race.
Halfway through stage 1 at Road America, second caution of the day. They'll attend to Daniel Hemrick's car. The field will reset for green flag racing. Welcome back to the Henry 180 from Road America. You see Daniel Hemrick hopping out of his race car. Unfortunately, he'll have time now to sit down and watch the NASCAR America pre-race show at 3 p.m. Cup Series Countdown to Green comes up after that, and then the first of a doubleheader from Michigan. Cup Series racing at 4, followed by the NASCAR America post-race show.
Oh, restarts there are going to be crazy, aren't they, DJ? Michigan, 3 wide, 4 wide, they'll be everywhere.
This is going to be an absolute great afternoon to watch, and who can battle Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick, try to get a win, but the restarts are just going to be insane.
DJ, we're going to send you over to NBC Sports Charlotte to be with Krista and Brad Doherty. And, of course, Burton, we're going to send you up to Charlotte Motor Speedway, where your friends Junior and Rick and Steve will all be waiting.
This is a good day. I get to watch 2 races.
You do. Again, big disappointment for Daniel Hemrick. He claimed over the radio motor issues, has sent the 8 behind the wall, and you saw him pull over just past the exit of pit lane. And that brought out the second full course caution of the day. All right, so they're heading down the back part of the course here. Jeff, they're working lap 9. They've completed 8. The stage is 14 laps long. Can you do any math that makes sense to pit here?
Well, for the gamblers, the big gamblers, they could pit right here. And, you know, if you pitted here, basically what you would have left to do would be 2 runs of about 18 laps. And remember, the thought would be to put fuel on only, right, and then come back under caution and just do tires, right? And what's the advantage in doing that? Well, if you don't do that and you put under caution and do fuel, then you got to come back and do tires. Then the guy that only did tires, he starts in front of everybody that pitted twice. So trying to minimize your time on pit road, the number of pit stops that you have under caution, that would be the idea. But it's pretty early right now. The only thing, DJ, is we are hearing that there's a lot of rain in the area, and the tires are ready, the rain tires are ready. So, you know, the fear would be that you would pit, and then it would start raining, and then you'd have to come back and pit again and put tires on.
Well, you said this decision was for the real gamblers out there. So trying to figure all of this out, be a weatherman and a gambler, and what's going to be best for your driver and put him in the right situation. I think somebody will come and will make that happen at this point in time.
Guys, I have some news. What sometimes comes before the rain?
Don't say it.
Yeah, I'm afraid there's been a lightning strike within the 10-mile radius of the track here, and that is going to stop activity. So that discussion will have to wait until we can get rolling again at Road America. So those cars will be brought to pit road, and we'll have to go under the red flag here for 30 minutes. So that is going to give us a chance to set up the day, set up the afternoon, tell a few more stories about the 37 drivers who started today's event. By the way, that's one more than typically would have started in 2020. The fields were reduced to 36. And, you know, managing director Wayne Aughton said, well, we just want everybody to play right now. 37 showed up. We're going to let 37 race, which I think is a great way to go. It's not the first time they've done that this year, but they are over the limit by one, and that is okay with race fans and racers alike.
You mentioned that lightning. That means they're going to come down. It'll be a red flag situation. And what that'll do is that'll give the driver and the crew chief and everybody involved even more time to think about what they're going to do when it goes back green. You know, it'll go back green with only maybe 4 or 5 laps left in the stage. And who wants to get stage points versus who wants to get track position, you know, for later in the race? And that's a decision that every team's going to have to make, and they're going to have some time to think about it.
We already mentioned the situation of Jeremy Clements. Started the day 32 points below the cut line, and he wants stage points. Currently running up in 5th position, and he has a chance to get 6.
Yeah, I think for someone like Jeremy Clements, I think it makes the decision rather easy as to what he's looking at, understanding the entire situation here. He needs as many points as he can possibly get.
And they see the little bit of cleanup there from the fluid left by Daniel Hemrick's car before he pushed it back to victory lane. That's on pit exit, so you want a little bit of traction right there.
There's 2 different philosophies on the point situation, right? So if you're Austin Cindric, you know, we know how many stage points he has. You get stage points by winning races and winning stages, right? So those are playoff points, rather. So he has those playoff points because of what he's done in the regular season. What does he want to do? Does he want to put himself in position, the best position to win this race, which, by the way, also gives you 5 playoff points, right?
Yeah.
So it's a decision you have to make. That's not the same thing Jeremy Clements is trying to do. He's trying to get overall points to try to make himself be in the top 12 to transfer into the playoffs. So it's 2 different philosophies based on what you've done in the regular season. And what makes it interesting, though, Dale, for me, is Cindric and Briscoe. There's a tight battle for the regular season point championship.
Yep.
So, and there's a lot of points for being the regular season champion. So those guys have a tough decision to make right here.
Yeah, that's 15 playoff points.
Yeah.
Whichever one gets that would be 10 if they do end up 1 and 2 there. So there's you're right. There's some real decisions to be made here. I think with a driver that's as skilled as Austin Cindric in this, I think he can play the game of trying to go win this stage, which is not, that's the 1 playoff point. But getting those 10 points going towards the regular season championship, I think may be in their best interest.
Here's how they look right now. Briscoe was the leader here, and then Kansas turned it all around for Austin Cindric. Briscoe did not have a good day, very uncharacteristic day, he called it. So now Cindric leads. If you win the regular season championship, 15 bonus points, then it's 10, 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the top 10 will get a little bonus in the regular season. All right, delay for lightning. We'll come back to Road America. Road America is the place to race today for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and they have been under a weather delay for quite a bit now. They're back rolling on track. Drivers have been called to their cars. And the rain has stopped, which makes it very interesting in terms of decision making. Right now, they are on the back portion of the race course. They've got another 30 or 40 seconds to decide what to do. And Parker Kligerman is down on pit road there. How much discussion is happening now between taking the wet tires or on a non-rain situation, just staying with the dries?
Well, David, a ton. Every team is going corner by corner. You're hearing the drivers, even as far away as they are, sort of breaking up at times, trying to describe how wet certain corners are, how it's drying in other corners, and I think it's just a sort of a mixed bag right now amongst many of the teams and drivers as to taking these wet tires or staying on the slicks, because this place can dry very quick, especially on this front side. Will dry very quick, and you could destroy those rain tires very quickly as well. So I think it's going to come down to a game time decision, guys. I think, and Jeff, you said it before this last break, basically, if you see Austin Cindric, Allmendinger, if they head down pit road, that's probably what I would do too.
They're on their slick tires right now. They should have enough fuel to make it to the end of stage 1, which has 5 laps remaining, Dale. So it really is a decision about tires, isn't it?
Yeah, so if you're going to follow those guys down, are they coming down to get tires, or are they coming down to get fuel? So
that's a great one, because you can't do both.
Nope. And you have 80 seconds to get whatever it is done. I suppose you could park for a minute and look around, see what others are doing, but boy, you better probably have your ducks in a row here before you get into the pit box. Again, the new pit situation today, the guys who are mechanics normally on the cars, they are the pit crew, and the logistics of getting crews back and forth and the expense and everything involved with that, NASCAR decided to make some alternative pitting rules. And so that's what they've gone with here today. That should not be a factor in what's going on here. Here are the rules, just so you know it. And they will be one modification to this. Under green now, if let's say they went back to racing and it did rain again, NASCAR will allow under green the opportunity to go from wet to dry tires. So that'll be the only green time they can be changing tires, right, Jeff?
Yeah, that's right. You just can't go from dry tire to dry tire. So they're trying to give the teams a chance in case it rains or quits raining to take care of them in that regard. But if it's dry, track gets dried up and you pit under green, you cannot go from dry tire to dry tire.
All right, last 4 corners coming up here under caution. Pace car rolls around at 45 miles per hour. So again, a lot of nervous crew chiefs here. They've already had a lot of things to think about this week. And as if a 4-mile, 14-turn road course isn't tough enough, what kind of good years do you give your driver now?
yeah, that's the decision that these drivers are having to make right at this point in time. We know slick tires on a wet surface is a very risky situation. So the drivers are going to have to really decide as they look at those corners, and the ones, so especially the ones that are more of a higher speed corner, if they're going to need these rain tires put on.
All right, let me go to my 2 experts here who haven't raced in the rain in a stock car. What do you want, Jeff?
I don't know. This just looks pretty wet to me right there. I think you're going to have to put rain tires on right here.
Dale, you feel the same way?
Yeah, I do. It looked like that by what we've seen around the track, and we see all of them. They're not all coming for fuel at this point in time.
All right, let's wait and see. From the yellow line right there under the bridge, it's just over 2,000 feet, the length of pit lane. In a little while here, they get to their pit stalls. You can see Austin Cindric leading this race, 40 miles per hour. He'll bring the 22 car down. Justin Haley, Ross Chastain, the teammates running second and third.
They are.
Teammate.
They are spaced out enough, though. I would be watching that Cindric. I'd be watching Cindric to see what he's doing.
All right, Parker.
Well, guys, it's actually funny enough a mixed bag down pit road. As I look, I see actually some teams that even have slick tires out there. You see Allmendinger decides to pit. I believe it's wet tires up there, but I'm looking down across pit road. I'm seeing mostly wet tires. So I believe most are going through wets, although there is a couple cars that did have dries out there. As you see Austin Cindric, he was asking for wet tires, so he'll put those on the 22 car. But this is quite the decision time for all these crews, deciding to go on these wet tires here. And I just think, guys, when I look at this track, it is going to dry out very quickly.
Well, you got a stage break coming in just a few laps, right? One of the big concerns would be if the track dries and you eat these tires up, you know, how many more rain tires will you have left in the pits that you can use?
Now you can see Austin Cindric took a little extra time there, but it doesn't matter because he will get his position back at the head of the field per the rules here this weekend. There was an 80-second maximum time limit on pit road. As long as you don't exceed that, that's under caution, and as long as you don't have a penalty, you get your spot back.
Yes, now they get lined back up the way they came onto pit road.
And remember, guys, this is a quickie yellow. In most other situations, people could come back a second time and pit, but in a quickie yellow situation, you can only pit one time.
So I have a way that we can tell who is on reins and who's on slicks at the green flag. I believe the rain tire guys are going to go out and race really hard. If you're on slicks, I think you're going to be tiptoeing. Parker, what do you think?
Well, I can tell you one car that is on slicks, and that is Ryan Sieg in that 39 car. He decided to go with slick tires. So that's going to be interesting. We'll have, I think a lot of crew chiefs will be watching that if they notice that he is on slicks to sort of evaluate if they made the right decision or not, if he has the speed. But definitely a bit of a risk there for 39.
A mixed bag, kind of like the weather this afternoon at Road America, but they're going to get them going with just a few laps remaining in stage one. Who will get the stage points? Who will stay on the racetrack? Stick around and find out. Back at Road America, the Henry 180 is about to get back underway for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. They're just coming out of the carousel in the back at this point. And it's been quite a day so far. Rain recently. And now teams deciding whether to put on the Goodyear wet weather tires or to stay on the slicks. And as Parker put it, it's a mixed bag out there. In fact, one driver has dropped to the back. We believe the 9 of Noah Gragson just took fuel and did not take new tires, which means he's on slicks and he doesn't want to be in the mess up in the front, Parker.
Correct, Dave. They took fuel only on Noah Gragson's car, so he is still on slicks and therefore trying to protect the car for these last couple laps to the stage end.
All right, giving up stage points, but staying on the slicks. Dale, we were talking in break, one reason why you might want to run the slicks in case you need both sets of reins later, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they're looking at the radar and thinking that might be what happens in the latter stages of this race. So a lot of decisions having to be made, kind of the worst case scenario, Jeff.
Yeah, and I think what they did is they just said, we're going to put fuel on now, right? And we're going to come back the next time and do tires. Right, and hopefully other people have to put slicks on, right, and maybe fuel, and then they'll have to do fuel, so others would have to make 2 stops under that scenario. This team would only have to make 1 and then be able to start in front of them. That would be the idea. Now, if it keeps raining and you have to keep rain tires on, that strategy probably won't work for them.
Lot to keep in mind here this afternoon. Alternative pitting instituted by NASCAR today. The drivers and crews have to keep up with the rules. The announcers have to keep following, and we're going to come back to green here as they are going to crest the hill and go back to race. And we know that race leader, the yellow 22 of Austin Cindric, he is on rain tires. As we look at the front of the field, Haley potentially is as well. Kaz Grala and Ross Chastain in row 2. By the way, A.J. Allmendinger lingering in 9th, and that is Vinnie Miller, and that's not a good situation. Are they going to call off this restart? It doesn't look like it as they're coming to it. And now hits the gas. Austin Cindric is headed to turn 1. Careful now, the racing surface covered in water. You can see the spray. Who can make it through turn 1? Haley's obviously on rain tires. Yes, the front cars, you can tell, they're racing hard in the rain at Road America. On pit road, Ryan Sieg getting fuel, now getting his Sunoco fuel in that car. Could only do tires or fuel when they came down pit road that last time. Yeah, Sieg is taking advantage of coming and taking fuel now.
Yeah, Cindric's lost the lead there. Down in turn 1. Justin Haley was able to get by him there, and Ross Chastain was on the move too.
And a caution right here.
Caution is now out. It is for the 5 of Vinnie Miller, whose car is stopped in Canada corner. Yep, so, and there is Miller's car off to the left of Canada corner. And you can tell there's definitely a big failure right there. That car was on pit road for a long time. They were working with it in various areas, but yep, that is not a good sound. Vinny is now done for the afternoon, it would appear. So there's Vinnie Miller's car. That's down in Canada corner. On that lap, on the resumption of the race, The 11 car of Justin Haley was able to get by Austin Cindric. Bold move down into turn 1. Was on the outside and made that stick by turn 3 as they were heading down the hill to 5.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to what we were talking about. You don't want to be in the normal groove right there. That's where you'll find a little bit more grip with those rain tires. Is not in the normal groove. And Justin Haley was able to take advantage of that and power right on by after turn 1.
We also talk about Justin Haley. You know, I'm not familiar with the amount of rain experience that he has, but he ran a lot of Trans Am races. He's run a ton of road course racing, so he could have some serious road course experience in the rain that paid off for him right there.
Justin Haley already has a win on the season, and so is headed to the playoffs, but only has 6 playoff points. If he can win this stage, that is another one. And potentially the way he's driving here, winning the race, that's another 5 playoff points.
Yeah, and he won the Daytona race in the rain. No, that's a different type of way he did it, but it's still...
Weather is his friend, let's just put it that way.
Seems to be.
Yeah. There you're on board with Justin Haley. He's given us a good look today with the onboard cameras, including the foot cam that we've seen every once in a while. That might operate just a little bit differently in the rain conditions.
So interesting to watch how different drivers do things, and so we'll get a little bit more of this hopefully as he's at full speed and seeing exactly how he goes about it, and how, especially if it continues to be wet and rain, just how easy he has to be with the throttle on the exit of these corners.
If Justin Haley can win this stage, that will be 1 playoff point. You know, he's a race winner, but does not have a lot of playoff points. So if he could win this stage, that helps him.
See the raindrops falling. You saw Chastain kind of jumping out of line there. I think he was looking for puddles to make sure the rain tires stay cool. That's the challenge on a drying racetrack, although I don't think we're having that here, but is to find the water if you're on the rain tires, right?
Yeah, and to do that, and it certainly looks like they've made the right decision and right call.
This day started with, I want to say, 20% chance of rain. And they're finding every percentage of it right now. A couple of lightning strikes to boot. A few years ago, NASCAR and Goodyear got together and said, hey, let's start making some rain tires so we can finish some of these events in the NASCAR Xfinity Series and Gander Outdoors Truck Series. And by the way, coming up at the road course at Daytona, all 3 series will have the opportunity, should it present itself and it rains, to race on the Goodyear wet weather tires.
What do you think? Races in the evening at Daytona in August might present itself to
an occasional shower
along the way?
Yeah. Here comes the dinger. He's coming back down pit road. 3 to go in the stage this time, so the pits are not closed yet.
So these guys are giving up the possibility of having a better finish in this stage, right?
Yep.
They're going to get this track position up, put fuel in right now, and then they may not even stop at the end of stage 1.
Yeah, and A.J. Allmendinger and Kaz Grala, I think, was another that we saw there. Stage points don't mean anything.
That's right. Yep, they're not racing for the championship. So Dinger gets his fuel, and now there's some discussion about should he need anything else. Nope, he's good to go.
Remember,
and
as
now
we're watching these pit stops, all pit stop rules are still in effect. Even though these are, let's call them controlled per se, you know, it's still live action. You still have to pit in your box. You still can't speed down pit road. You still can't have a tire get away from you. All those rules are still in effect.
Parker?
You guys know Gregson's team was discussing to put slicks on under this caution because they put fuel only under that last one, and then they were going back and forth on this rain. Dave Ellen said basically this rain is going to only last about 10 minutes, expected to be pretty light, but it's coming down very hard, and so they decided they probably should go wet. Also on pit road is Ryan Sieg, so he had something really interesting. He took slicks the last caution, pitted just before the caution came out while it was under green, put fuel in the car, so he should have been good to go, but now has decided it's raining too hard, is putting wet tires on the 39. So they're still good on fuel, but they've decided to go to wets with how much rain's coming down.
A lot to think about. We've said it before, and there certainly is here this afternoon. You can see the stickers on those tires as they rotate. And there is a good look at how hard it is raining. That is the Corvette Bridge heading toward turn 6.
Yeah, we talk about how big this place is at 4.5 miles, and it could be raining at one part of the track and not another. So if one part of the track dries up quicker, and Parker has alluded to that, to where the front side seems to dry up, then you could really, you're going to need the rain tires on one part of the course, but you might be really abusing them at another part.
As if this isn't hard enough already.
Oh my goodness, you see the pace car there still has its lights on. Will we go green this time? And there will be just one to go in the stage. Pits are closed now for stage end, so you can't do any more pit strategy at this point. Ryan Sieg is able to leave. He pitted legally, and now he will join the back of the field.
I like that call that was made on A.J. Allmendinger's car to go ahead and pit right there, put fuel in, and then, especially with it still raining, if it's raining like that, he won't have to stop the next time to put tires on. He already has rain tires on the car. So when if everybody else has to pit to do fuel, he should start in front of them. He did that. We saw Kaz Grala do that, I believe. Harrison Burton did it. Myatt Snyder. Several people that may have that same strategy. Brandon Jones.
All right, guys, well, while we have a minute, can I get a refresher course and have you two take us around Road America, show you what these guys are dealing with now with rain tires? DJ, why don't you start us off? We're located in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Front straight right there.
Yeah, down into turn 1, hard right-hander, and then see turn 3. Down to turn 5, probably one of the fastest parts, hard braking, and over into the carousel, Jeff.
And then 11 is that kink. That's where it's almost wide open, down to Canada corner, and then a very sharp last corner, turn 14, into the start-finish line, and a major uphill climb going to that start-finish line.
Another look at turn 1 here. We saw how Austin Cindric was forced down to the inside based on where he started, and that one of the reasons why Justin Haley was able to get around him. And then here's the part you talked about, DJ, downhill hard braking.
Yeah, and to the left there, and we see a lot of times, especially on these restarts, it's easy to get jammed up right there. A lot of contact we see. If you're going to get some body damage, it's usually right here in turn 5.
Canada corner, one of the last hard right-handers, Jeff.
Yeah, that's a good passing zone because of that long straightaway that leads to turn 12. See that sand trap at the end of it? That has caught quite a few cars as well.
Now that first lap by our graphic, that was obviously on slicks. That was fast.
Yes, that was going. Yeah.
And before all the road course enthusiasts start texting me, emailing me, Canada corner, I'm sorry, I called it turn 12. I know that's, I'm not supposed to do that.
No, it's
like called in Wrigley Stadium, right?
I think if you miss it, I think if you miss it, you head straight off toward Canada's. Got that name, but I could be wrong. All right, there's the front of the field, and the car. Well, let's see. There's Haley. Car on the right. Now he'll be on your left. The white and black 11, Justin Haley. He'll be the restart control car. Although I don't know if control is an operative word here coming to green this time. We'll see how they do heading down into turn 1.
No, but he has chosen the lane that he was in the last time, that he was put there because Austin Cindric was the leader.
And he'll have the advantage of being able to fire off just a tick before his competition if he does it right, and then set himself up for the outside of turn 1, which in the rain should provide just a little bit more grip. Lights are off on the pace car. There will be one lap to go in this stage. Top 10 drivers receive stage points. That can get you to the playoffs. Jeremy Clements, we mentioned, is just below the cut line coming in. He is 7th. He is in line for 4 stage points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4 stage points right now. He'd like to grab a couple more if he can. That white and red 51 next to Justin Allgaier. A few other drivers who are going to try to grab him away.
A.J. Allmendinger, we saw him come down pit road and pit. He's going to line up about 18th right here, full of fuel and on rain tires. And everybody behind him, they also pitted.
So they're really all waiting for stage 2 and what it presents.
They don't want to wreck right here. That's basically their goal, is to avoid the wreck. And put into that list, I believe, also Kaz Grala.
Yeah.
In that 21 car. He also came down pit road.
But AJ does want to stay in front of Kaz Grala and Harrison Burton and a few of those others. He doesn't want to give up any track position because he anticipates being the leader when all of this shakes out.
Here they come, slowly up the hill at pace car speed. They don't fire off until they get just almost to the start-finish line. There's a restart zone indicated by the red markings on the wall either side. And you can see the rain is coming down as we ride right on board with Ross Chastain. Haley, the leader. Austin Cindric in the yellow 22, second place. Here they go, down the long straight, into turn 1 at Road America. Cindric with a great jump this time. Can he grab the preferred line? No. Haley is going to stay there and try to keep command of the race. And look at Chase Briscoe. Briscoe started back in 6th position, I believe, and now has cycled all the way up to 2nd. Stage points here.
Look at the visibility issues. Good battle right there, Briscoe and Cindric. How do these guys in the back see? Look at that.
A lot of spray. Just a little bit of help from that windshield wiper. They do have defoggers in there too, but man, at these speeds, here comes Justin Haley.
Something to note, that 16 car of Allmendinger, he gave up a lot of spots right there.
51 of Clements now getting gobbled up by a couple of cars. Again, staying to the outside line here. Oh, here comes Andy Lally. Andy Lally in the 0-2, making up ground.
Yeah, he knows how to get the job done in these conditions.
Yeah, keep an eye on Andy Lally. He's really good at this racetrack, driving good equipment.
And Josh Bilicki in the black 99. Driver who drove, and he's going to barely hang on to it right here. Nice save.
Yeah, that's a great save in dry weather.
Yeah.
You know who was happy about that save? Jeremy Clements.
He was about to use Jeremy for a block right there to avoid going off the track. Oh, 3 wide down into turn 8. Careful now. It's a 6 car. Jade Buford, lots of experience on road courses and not afraid to take it fast in the rain. He's going to stay on the outside in the carousel. And Jeremy Clements is looking at his stage points fade away. Through the kink, usually high speed, now very carefully tiptoeing through as every driver. Oh, right there. Careful, Jeremy.
Look at Justin Haley doing a really good job. Gapped himself some from Cindric, who's gotten by Briscoe.
Final lap of stage 1. Final 4 corners. Buford, a nice
good
save there. Keeps it righted, and here come the leaders. Haley's going to get his stage points, it looks like, if he can negotiate turn 14. All important, heading on to the longest straightaway. And up the hill he goes. 10 for him, plus a playoff point. Austin Cindric will get 9 points, and Chase Briscoe, who gave up a lot of points to Cindric last race, is going to come home 3rd in this stage. Well.
Oh, that's a tight finish right there. And back in the battle for the person who the teams that pitted last, Harrison Burton. He was able to get in front of all those other guys. He possibly will be the leader if he doesn't have to pit. So that was I wonder if Allmendinger was intentionally going slow back there, trying to save those rain cars or something. He gave up a lot of spots.
Yeah. And Jeremy Clements ended up 11th and out of the stage point picture. There's Haley. He won stage 1. Find out who wins stage 2 when we come back to Road America. Hockey is back with the Stanley Cup qualifiers. The unprecedented 24-team tournament continues tonight on NBCSN. With a shot at making the Stanley Cup playoffs, it's on the line. And anything can happen. Sounds like our race today.
Yeah, already been some upsets in the playoffs, too. So, in the first round.
All right, the stage 1 points we mentioned, critical. Haley got 10 of them. Then you see folks down through there. So, and that was his 2nd stage win of the season, by the way, for Justin Haley. And did it in fine fashion, holding off Austin Cindric. That was impressive.
Yeah, he did a great job. You know, for a driver to know how hard he can push it, especially into that turn 1 and then turn 3 and turn 5 so quickly, because they're all a little bit different there. 2 rights and then a left. He did an outstanding job. We see him coming to pit road now.
All right, so at the stage end, NASCAR will give the teams 2 opportunities to pit if they want to, and not lose position if they follow all the rules, which we have shown you throughout the day.
Someone we may have missed, the 99 car, Josh Bilicki. There he is, that black car stayed on the racetrack. Yep. I actually think he is going to be the race leader
That'll be
when all this cycles back around.
Really cool story. So a lot of these drivers did one or the other when they came down pit road most recently. Let's head down to Parker.
Well, guys, yeah, we'll see most of these cars do fuel only here. Is what you would do, because if you were to take tires under this caution, you would do it first, because you could help or fix a lug nut if you had an issue on your second stop when you came back to do fuel. The 22 car of Austin Cindric is pitting out of second place. He's doing fuel and a track bar adjustment. Same for Chase Briscoe. It's fuel, track bar adjustment, and adjusting some damage that he had on the front end there. Now they'll sit here and wait for that minimum time, guys, and then eventually they'll pull away.
There you go, no need to rush. They have a maximum time limit they have to fit under, and they will still get their spot back on the track. So we'll take a break. Line them back up. Justin Haley will be the first off the pit road, but the leader looks like it's going to be Josh Bilicki. NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Perfect for race fans. Race fans with umbrellas today. They got a suntan earlier today, but it's been mostly rain recently. And the end of stage one saw some interesting strategy. The front of the field is now going to be drivers who have already pitted a couple of times. They've got fuel and tires. And Jeff, we saw guys who needed one or the other stop during that caution.
You know, these guys gave up an opportunity to get any stage points at the end of that first stage when he had pitted. The other guys stayed on the racetrack, and remember, Justin Haley was leading the race, and he came down pit road, and everybody that didn't come down pit road obviously is going to start in front of him. Justin's going to restart somewhere around 16th, 17th in that range. That's how much track position he's given up to get that stage win. And I think it was worth it for him, right? That's a point going into the playoffs. Cindric and those guys, you know, I don't know that it was worth it for them. I'm sure they stayed out to try to get that stage win, but when they didn't get it, I wonder if they wish they would have gone ahead and played that strategy to keep their track position.
Yeah, I think if you look at the regular season points champion, though, Cindric and Briscoe, they finished right behind. So Cindric basically picked up one more point towards that. So maybe they can say that, hey, if we would have pitted, that would have put us behind in that situation. A lot of different ways to look at it, a lot of different strategies. And while we're talking about the strategy and the modification of everything, now we see it's still raining, but during this stage, if they need to come in under green, the only time they can change tires under green is they could come in and go back to a slick in that situation here without getting a penalty.
Alternative pitting, keeping the brains working on top of the pit box. They're the crews. They're willing to do whatever. Send me over the wall. I'll help out. The official app of NASCAR puts race coverage and live in-car cameras at your fingertips. Unlock premium content today with a free trial to get access to driver and team radio communications, enhanced telemetry, and an ad-free experience. Search NASCAR in your app site, in your app store, or visit NASCAR.com/mobile. So for those of you expecting to tune in to Countdown to Green from Michigan right now, where the Cup Series is racing, stage one took about 3 hours here with lightning strikes and various other delays. So we just want to let you know that Cup Series racing will follow us when we finish up here at Road America. And that car in front, Josh Bilicki in the 99. So far, they have played the strategy to a T. Rear Chief Adam Brooks has made the right calls, and the 25-year-old from Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, who calls this racetrack his home for a lot of reasons, be the restart leader. Josh is a fun story. He's a racer at heart, started club racing, spending a lot of his own money. He then realized he could train people how to race on these road courses and make money, and that helped support his racing habit. And one year, Xfinity was coming up here, and he saw some to-be-announced drivers on the entry list, and so he started calling and direct messaging people, got Victor Obyka to give him a shot in one of his race cars. And since then, it's been Josh Bilicki in the Xfinity Series. He's had a few Cup Series starts. It's been a nice living the dream story for a guy that just likes to go and race.
Yeah, and credit him for doing a really good job on that last restart of getting himself through traffic and of all of these cars that pitted before, and kind of the same strategy, and he drove his way up there inside the top 10.
DJ, how about that white car starting next to him? That's a powerful car right there.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Harrison Burton going to be right there with them. And you saw Harrison there. We got a few shots of him in that last little run, and you could see him knowing exactly where to be on the racetrack and doing what he knows how to do and figuring this out kind of as he goes. His dad, Jeff, told us earlier that he had not raced in these kind of conditions, but he's getting a lot of information here quickly, Jeff.
Yes, he is. Learning under fire.
Row 2 team cars, Preston Pardus in the 36, Alex Labbe in the 90 car. In row 3, AJ Allmendinger and Myatt Snyder. And as they get ready to head back to green here, reminder, this is the start of stage number 2. Points will be awarded again in 12 laps. And then stage 3 will commence, and they'll go for the checkered flag, the big trophy, and the big check. Field all lined up, and now Bilicki bringing them to green as he crosses under the bridge. He'll get to the restart zone, put the power down, and see what he can do.
Car of AJ Allmendinger going to make it 3 wide.
Good launch by Bilicki. Allmendinger to the left there in the white car. Has to get back behind the 36 of Pardus. Pardus will take command of second. Harrison Burton trying to hang on. Here comes Noah Gragson around the outside.
Oh, really loose right there with Pardus.
Turn 3, the right-hander to head down toward turn 5. A lot of elevation change here. A lot of speed to be picked up. A lot of car control by Haley.
Listen to him, Dale, completely out of the throttle, trying to get the rear tires to hook up. What a great shot. We talked about the visibility before. Well, look at this. Cannot see more than 3 cars in front of you.
Out of the throttle way early to make sure he gets this over 3,000-pound stock car woed down into the left-hander turn 5.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of the faster cars are the cars we saw up front. Mired back in traffic right now. And who's going to be that driver that makes the right moves and can work their way back towards that top 5?
Josh Williams, that blue car back there, the 92, also up in the mix. And Brandon Brown now in the 68, up in the front group as well. He had problems at the early part of the race, no fuel pressure, barely got the race started, got the free pass, is now back racing with the leaders.
This area of the racetrack looks really slick.
Yeah, and it might not be all that slick, but it has that factor where you see that new pavement of looking really slick, and so that gets your attention as a driver.
Preston Pardus, why is he challenging for the lead in that 36 car right there? Well, he's really good on the road courses as well. He's a driver, young driver, second generation. Dan Pardus' dad raced in NASCAR for a number of years, but Preston has made his way in club racing. Like a Mazda Miata, small cars like that. A couple years ago, they got an effort together to race their own car, and now he's challenging for the lead at Road America.
Good battle for the lead. You got to be careful under braking in these wet conditions.
Pardus maybe with the preferred line coming around here. Bilicki trying to hang on. They're still side by side.
That yellow car back there in 5th. Myatt Snyder, 4th actually, still battling for the lead. Myatt Snyder with a lot of road course racing experience over in Europe.
Bilicki will have the inside line. Will Pardus have more grip on the outside in turn 14? And Bilicki holds him off.
Good fun racing right there.
Now here comes Pardus, good horsepower, coming down the straightaway. He's got that Chevrolet wound up. Noah Gragson waiting in the wings there in 3rd, and then you mentioned the yellow car of Myatt Snyder. He's now getting a challenge on the outside.
Still side by side. That outside lane worked right there.
Noah Gragson did a great job on that restart of getting himself. He was really, really aggressive, which is not surprising with him, but he made it work to his benefit this time. Got himself up there in 3rd, getting ready to challenge for the lead.
Saw the yellow 22 of Austin Cindric shoot through there. He's making his way back through. There's the orange number 7 of Justin Allgaier. And now a little bit of a lead for Josh Bilicki pulling away.
Some windshield wipers on, some windshield wipers off. I've talked to drivers about those windshield wipers. A lot of drivers have told me they actually make it worse.
Saw Dinger moving through there, getting by Snyder. Maya Snyder, by the way, should not be overlooked on the road courses. He raced in the NASCAR Euro Series last year, and they run basically all road courses, a couple of modified ovals, but Maya learned a lot about car control and road course racing over there and is now applying it today, and also fighting for a spot in the playoffs if he can get there.
I think we're seeing these guys battle in the rain. You try to equate that to you driving in the rain in your street car, but it's not the same. These guys are pushing the edge, pushing the limit. When you're driving your street car, you're trying to stay way below that. These guys have to operate on the edge in order to make speed. I just love this view right here. Listen to the throttle, how early he has to lift. That is so much earlier than he lifted in the dry conditions, obviously.
Yeah, just how much they have to work the throttle and to fight that temptation of just slamming the throttle down and trying to exit the corner as quickly as you possibly can.
And oh, by the way, your sight is pretty much diminished here. Kind of muscling their way around the car. Who was that? I couldn't quite tell who they were muscling their way around. A couple of tire marks left on the side of that one.
This is when experience matters so much. You have a little bit of experience in the rain, it will mean a great deal in regard to speed.
Jeff, why is he tapping the brake there before he heads to the corner?
That's a security tap. Yeah. That's to make sure it's there.
By his teammate Ross Chastain there. Good onboard stuff there. Hey, this is a battle for the lead. Noah Gragson has said, it's my turn. Bilicki's been at the front long enough. Can he make it stick here in turn 5?
Bilicki's not going to give this up without a fight. This is the opportunity he's dreamed of. Hope to have this opportunity to lead a race, possibly win a race at this track he has so much time on. So this is not going to be an easy pass for Noah Gragson.
Bilicki did a great job right there utilizing that lane that he was in and getting a better run through the center of that corner, and that translated into being able to stay in front on the exit.
Noah's got a little grip here, and now he'll have the preferred inside line on the carousel unless a little more grip on that outside.
Yeah, you get the feeling that Josh Bilicki is willing to give up a part of the racetrack that he doesn't want, right? And it's opposite of what it normally would be. Normally, you know, at NASCAR Gragson, he was in the inside lane. That's where you'd want to be, but it's almost like Bilicki's willing to give him that. Give him that inside lane because he wants that second lane because he thinks it has more grip.
Meanwhile, Alex Labbe saying, if you two are going to discuss this much longer, I'm going to come on through the Canadian, heading down to Canada corner. Can he make a pass? Gregson's going to move through the lead. Oh, but coming off the corner there is that outside grip you talked about, Jeff.
What a good battle.
Careful, Noah. Keep it on the track.
Oh, he cleared him. Good job by Noah.
Oh, that was a great job.
Bilicki's not done, though.
And now Labbe falls in line with the front two. Taking a peek here. Make an opportunity to go for second. Yes, he will. And they're going to stay to that outside line. Again, we talked about how the inside groove, normally the spot to be. With the oil that's laid down, when it gets wet, it's the slickest part. So you don't want to be on it.
Look at Alex Labbe. What a great opportunity. You know, we see these guys every weekend. Labbe, Bilicki, Pardis. Those guys, we don't see them up front on ovals where you know, their cars aren't quite as good as some of their competition. They don't have quite the experience that some other people have as well. But here they are at a place where they're comfortable. And you can see they have talent. You can see they have driving skill. They don't get to show that on a weekly basis, so they're going to take advantage of this.
Oh, hang on now. Offline goes Grayson LaBe to the lead.
Oh, they all talk to each other and driving in the corner too deep. you know, you gauge yourself off the other person's speed, and if the guy in front of you drives in the corner too deep, you tend to.
And smiling all the way to second place, here comes A.J. Allmendinger.
Yeah, he said that worked out just like I planned for it to. 2 easiest passes. LaBe really sliding that car around. You can see parts of this track starting to dry out more so than others. They're searching around a little bit to get those tires. Uh-oh, got another spin.
Jesse Little around in the 4. Same spot, I believe. Yes, indeed. So what I find out interesting about LaBe in the lead is that car owned by Mario Goslin, prepared by Mario. They have been desired on the road courses when the Xfinity Series go racing. When there were times when they didn't have full-time drivers in there, drivers like Andy Lally would call them up and say, hey, I've got a sponsor. Can I come race your car? So that's good equipment, DJ. And they're proving it again today with their regular driver.
Yeah, they do a really good job of getting these cars prepared for these drivers that have a lot of experience at this type of racing. And it really shows up well. And this rain, you can see what a great equalizer. But then you've got the equalizer of an outstanding road racer in A.J. Allmendinger in any kind of condition.
I get the feeling A.J. Allmendinger's been riding. I get the feeling he's just taking care of his car, taking care of his tires. Remember all those spots he gave up early when he put these rain tires on, and now he's just sat there and methodically made laps, let other people make mistakes, and here he is with an opportunity to battle for the lead. One thing people don't give A.J. Allmendinger enough credit for, in my opinion, is the amount of experience that he's gained in his career. He is a smart racer at this point in his driving career. You give him a fast car, and he will put it in the front.
This car prepared by Colleague Racing. They have 3 cars in the event. Matt Colleague, who owns Leaf Filter, sponsors the cars on a regular basis, put a lot of money and a lot of time into building a shop right near Richard Childress Racing, where they have a technical alliance. And this year they've been showing the strength that they now have, building those teams, gathering personnel, and saving a few races for guys like Dinger, who can bring it home. In fact, he won it on oval earlier this year. Yeah. Took home the checkered flag at Atlanta.
Yeah, and of course that it made him feel really good, but Matt Colligan, he's done a great job of coming there and see AJ making this pass now. Just outstanding, understanding the braking conditions and what you can do and what your capabilities are there, what got him the lead. But Matt Colligan, it's just enhanced this Xfinity Series with his organization and bringing everything that he has with the teams and drivers.
LaBe not giving up halfway through stage 2. Parker, what are you hearing on pit road?
Well, guys, we might be seeing the great equalizer, otherwise known as rain, going away here. You're seeing the track starting to dry out, and these teams are seeing that as well. So all these teams that are on wets are allowed to pit under green to go to slick tires. So we're expecting to see cars starting to come down pit road in the next lap or two. A lot of the radios are lighting up saying, I'm ready, bring the slicks on. So here we go, guys.
Great information, Parker. Remember, the rule today under alternative pitting from NASCAR is that you cannot change tires under green. They amended that once the day showed rain to say that if you want to go from the wet weather tires to the dries under green, you can do that, or vice versa. So Noah Gragson getting out of shape a little while ago and losing the lead to Alex LaBe. Oh, wheel hopping big time.
Oh, yeah, you could see that, and with the right rear. Great job of saving that car, though. See Josh Bilicki right behind him.
LaBe, he was about wrecking before Noah.
Another angle of it there, and Alex LaBe says, I'll just peel away here.
I mean, how many times have you seen that, DJ, where one guy drives in the corner too deep, the next guy follows him, the next guy follows him?
Yeah. And sometimes, especially as the leader, you're glancing in the mirror to make sure that nobody's trying to dive under you in one of those high braking zones to try to take advantage of that. And all of a sudden, you found yourself just driving a little bit further than what the conditions will allow, and you find yourself in trouble.
See the drivers over next to the wall there trying to find water for those rain tires.
Yeah, I think, Jeff, I'm thinking correctly. They would really like to be able to run this another 5 or 6 laps before they make that pit stop to make sure that they can put on the slicks at that time. And then at the end of the stage, they would only have to pit one time for the fuel to get them to the end of the race.
Yeah, I think that's, look at that. See the little bit of damage on that 11 car. Not sure if that's the side skirt that's gotten tore off of it. It's contact right there.
Wow, got through the corner a little better than Cindric, and now it's going to power by. Side skirt, Jeff, just behind the right front wheel well there.
Interesting. See right there, Cindric on the outside, choosing to run that outside lane. Haley's in what would normally be the preferred lane. Good run on that exit corner right there by Haley. Really nice exit speed.
And now he'll be in the right position, perhaps to make that pass. Cindric's going to go through.
What a good battle between these two.
Good, clean, hard racing. The Xfinity Series where drivers are making their names, still ascending to the Cup Series if they can get there someday. Certain things you only learn by doing, like we talked about earlier with racing in the rain. They've had their chance today.
But see right there, the lane's starting to dry out on the straight. See right there, you see the drying starting to happen. And you can see the car, that green and black car, the 10 of Chastain. He's out there looking for that wet on the straightaway, trying to save those tires.
Footwork of Justin Haley.
Justin Haley's right foot. Obviously wide open. Now he's going to lift. Pump that brake. Now watch it. Right there. Then another one. That's downshifting. He's got to use that throttle to get RPMs up in the engine before he downshifts. If he doesn't do that, it will wheel hop the back of the car, or it will break the transmission or break the rear end. So that throttle tap on corner entry is all about downshift. And the timing of all that has to be precise while you're battling your guy here that you're racing against with Cindric.
6 to go in the stage. We know that Justin Allgaier has made it to pit road. Parker?
Right, guys, and this is a switch to slick tires from those wets. Justin Allgaier came on the radio about a lap ago saying, I am ready, so they brought him down here to do that switch. He therefore won't have to take tires underneath the stage brake and will be able to do fuel. So just be Ford Goodyear tires, slick tires for Justin Allgaier here.
So he'll tiptoe his way around, but that's still 24 miles he's going to put on those tires. And leave him on in the stage brake, in theory.
Is he just slow stop?
He was 16th. That's okay, because he has to spend 60 seconds on pit road.
That's right.
That is the rule. You cannot be outside of that. Teammates battling. They've both gotten by Austin Cindric now.
Ross Chastain, yeah. Good speed.
They were racing like this was a battle for the lead. That was highly entertaining.
Well, I was going to say, it is in their hearts, right?
Yes.
That's what drivers do. Love the entertainment factor.
Yeah, well, it's a spot, and every spot is a point.
That's right. Checking back here, 9th place. There's Myatt Snider being challenged by Josh Williams in the 92, 93, 92. Nice when they run sequential for me like that. And Williams is going to, whoa, Snyder slowed down because he was going to pit road. Williams did the crossover just to avoid him. So Myatt Snyder's team now playing a little bit of strategy here, much like Justin Allgaier did moments ago. 25-year-old from Charlotte. Of course, his dad, Marty, a colleague with us here at NBC Sports. Always nervous on race day, wants to see Myatt do a good job, which he usually does. The equipment today hanging in there, and he was in ninth position, so a little speed out of that 93 car, looking good today.
Yeah, he's really done a good job to this point. So they'll get in here and get their work done. As you pointed out, they've got to spend 60 seconds on pit road from yellow line to yellow line. So you don't want to get out there at 59. That's a penalty.
Yep, so the crew chiefs are all keeping some sort of stopwatch on the pit box, maybe on their iPhone, maybe on their laptop, or maybe an old-fashioned stopwatch. They know how long it takes them to get from the bridge to their pit box. Then they count in the pit box so that when he rolls off, he doesn't hit the other yellow line before 60 seconds. 61 is okay. As you said, 59, no good.
But you don't want 68.
Yes.
That's the problem, right? So, I mean, basically, as I say that, I mean, what these guys are doing is they're racing to get to the end of the stage where they can put fuel on, but, you know, they might give up 1 or 2 spots if it's a real long stop.
Check in on Preston Pardis here in the 36. That's the other DGM race car owned by Mario Goslin. And crew chief by Tony Furr, a veteran in this sport, who I don't think is going to miss much in the way of strategy and building a good race car. So got that going for him today. Preston's doing a good job of keeping it on the track, currently running 4th.
And look how it's dried. In the amount of time we talked about it about 2 laps ago, you can see a clear lane starting to dry. That's why you're seeing drivers calling for slicks.
Hey guys, while we have a second, how about Brandon Brown making a comeback here? He's in the 14th spot. You remember back at the beginning of this race, had to be pushed to pit road, had an issue, was able to get that fixed and actually join the race basically a lap down because they had already taken the green flag, but has worked his way back. He's sitting in that 12th spot as far as the playoff points go, and he had fallen outside to the 51 when Jeremy Clements was running up inside the top 5, but he's back and has a nice solid day going here. Really good work by this crew and this driver.
Yeah, and ahead of that, we see Austin Cindric in that yellow car pitting right now. He had fallen back some. He was up there racing with Haley and Chastain, and he had fallen all the way back to about 10th, so he's on pit road.
Yep, 2.5 seconds slower they've been running than the start in this with those rain tires on, so they needed to get them off. The degradation weighing heavily right now, Parker, and he can't wait to get some tires on that 9 car.
Yes, he wants those slick tires. They were talking about it about 5 laps ago. So they've gone way further on these than maybe they wanted to, just staying out there on those wet tires, but they will put 4 slick Goodyear tires on Noah Gragson. Staying there with Austin Cindric, you see pulling in ahead of him. They're going to be putting slick tires on here as well. And then remember, they'll come under the stage brake and do their fuel, and that should allow them to go to the end. So they'll want to treat these tires nicely over these last couple laps, take care of them.
So Parker brings up a good point. He said fuel to the end. What do you think, Jeff, your calculator over there? Can these drivers now who have pitted here, do they have enough fuel to go all the way, the final 4 to go in this stage, and all the way to the end of the race?
Yeah, with cautions, you know you're going to have, most likely you have enough, but it's right on the edge.
Pretty big chassis adjustment there, too. And would you do that if you're going from wet weather to dry weather setup? Maybe change a little bit for Austin.
I don't think so. You can see trying to get rid of grip with those tires, leaving pit road. I think you're getting ready to see pit road really full right here. This next lap, and see, all right. So
come on, Jesse.
Jesse cannot get out of this sand trap. All these guys that just pitted under green will have a major advantage. Because the caution will come out, and everybody else that hadn't been on pit road, they'll end up having to pit twice here.
That is off of turn 3. Jesse Little stuck in the gravel trap. Of course, that gravel trap is there to avoid high-speed inordinate exits that end up in the barrier. And it's caught Jesse like it's supposed to, but often this is what happens. You get axle deep in it.
Yeah, it's dug in there. There's no way he's going to get out without some help. So caution's going to come out. If you're anywhere near pit road and you aren't worried about a stage finish, you need to be hitting pit road right now.
They just have to get across the white line that shows them they are committed. And I'm looking, I think Alex LeBay has jumped to pit road.
You see these guys hitting pit road. They're being told.
Yep, there he is. And more. So this is the old, boy, if I could figure out when the cautions were going to come out,
yes,
I would pit right before that. And we think, based on where Jesse Little is, that that's kind of what's happening. So you see Preston Pardus here, the 98 of Chase Briscoe, and Jesse has made no progress in that sand trap.
NASCAR's doing everything they can not to throw the caution because they don't want to put people in a bad spot, but danger in that is somebody having trouble and actually running into Jesse.
Harrison Burton on pit road. I call it a sand trap. It's a gravel trap, obviously.
Kitty litter.
Yep.
Well, speaking from experience, not at this track, but at Watkins Glen, I can tell you you're not going to get out of that stuff easily. Unfortunately, I know that.
There is the caution for Jesse Little's number 4. We're hearing about a pit road violation for the 51 car of Jeremy Clements. He did not make the minimum time. So we talked about, when we texted back and forth about this week, Jeff, I think it was you that said, just don't mess up. Well, they left too early, and they were under the minimum time required to be on pit road. So that should be a tail end of the longest line when they go back to green.
Yeah, that's tough. You know, they really haven't. The only way they can measure that is we saw at the beginning of the pit road, beginning of the race, they would go down pit road and measure that time, but then you have to add that time to your pit stop, and that's all done with a stopwatch. For that, you know, it's just that simple, and you could miss it by a second pretty easily.
There's Ryan Sieg on and off of pit road in the 39 car. Ryan at this point 11th in the playoff standings, so he's good by points, but not a ton. Here's where you can get penalized. Completing your stop outside the allotted time, that's you know, minimum or maximum required, and if you're outside of it, other than the designated lap. Now, at stage end, if you don't pit on the first opportunity, you can't come back in. So that's what that's all about. And then the dreaded 2-lap penalty, taking tires and fuel. And the last one was amended for this race once the rain came out, taking tires under green. They did allow you to go from the wets to the dries and back and forth. So, Parker, those rain tires were out there when it wasn't raining. How do they look?
Well, yeah, they were out there for a while when it gets dry, and you wonder, wait, why would they have to change? Why do they need to get away from these wet tires? Well, wet tires create grip with these grooves and these blocks, and these blocks are very sharp on the edges, and that cuts through the water. Well, what happens when you run into dry, you see, they start to get dull, they fall away, and they rip apart. And you look up here, this was a tire from Noah Gregson's car. Look at this, they're starting to sort of cure over each other. That means they're losing all the grip in these tires. That's why you have to move to slicks.
But they did their job, and that's what Goodyear is good at, putting the rubber on the racetrack in the right situations. Now it is slick time. The Goodyear Racing Eagles made to go on the dry track.
What's really going to be interesting is you see right here, A.J. Allmendinger, Ross Chastain, Justin Haley, Malicki, all these guys that are the leaders right now, they did not get on pit road under green. So are they going to have to pit twice? And if they have to pit twice, they'll start behind everybody that only pits once. You know, this modified pit procedure, the concern was that strategy would no longer matter. Well, I would say it matters more. You know, it's a little confusing. It can be a little confusing, but the crew chiefs want the ability to make a strategy call. You don't want to take that away from racing, and it's not done that at all. If anything, it's made it even more important, the strategy that you can play.
Those guys that have pitted, Jeff, they've put some laps on their tires, and we know that tires really make a difference here. So will these guys that are going to have these tires later on, is that going to be enough of a difference for them to come back?
You know, I don't think so, because I think everybody was probably smart enough to just ride around and not hurt their tires. And then we saw some people pit right when the caution came out, so they essentially don't have any laps on their tires. You know, if you pitted early, the goal was simply to hope this happened. Hope you get the caution and then get to the stage in. So I don't think that they've hurt their tires.
Coming to 1 to go in the stage. We'll go ahead and take a break here while they get Jesse Little taken care of. You won't miss any of the green flag action. Oh. Nope, we're going to stay right here. And the tow rope has come off of the 4 car of Jesse Little. There is a hook on the front there, I do believe, for them to grab onto, but that didn't work that time. Lower left, you see Cup Series racing from Michigan coming up. Green flag scheduled now at 5:02 Eastern, so stay tuned for that. Part of a doubleheader weekend at Michigan International Speedway.
Keep this in mind, guys. You're talking
Go ahead, Jeff.
Two to go with this stage in, but then when this race goes back green, you're only going to have 15 lap race. It's going to be a shootout with that few laps.
And the pits are closed now, right? Because there's 2 to go, so there will be no more pitting before the end of this stage. So what you see is what you get. Let's head to break now. The leader is A.J. Allmendinger. See how they set the restart coming up here. Oh, Jesse Little, it's been a long day and getting longer. Live shot of Michigan International Speedway, where the NASCAR Cup Series is getting set to take on one of 2 400-kilometer races in one weekend. It's an unprecedented season. It's an unprecedented big weekend at Michigan International Speedway, and you'll see that race coming up next as soon as we finish things up from Road America. And there you see the very quiet pit lane as this stage goes to a close here. 1 lap remaining in it. And up for stage points. Allmendinger doesn't care because he's not running for the championship. Chastain does. Haley does. And a few other cars are going to score here, including Brandon Brown, who's running in 7th. He's going to get a couple of points, which he is definitely needing to stay in the playoff picture. Big cheers for the crew getting Jesse Little out of the sand, or out of the gravel trip. All right, so this is Road America, the Xfinity Series, and Jeff Burton, got a lot going on here today.
Yeah, we do, and I know a lot of people are tuning in to watch the Cup race from Michigan, which will be on soon, and you're going to hear about this alternate pitting that is in effect for today's race. And this is essentially how it works. Under green, you can only add fuel, no tires. Under caution, you can do fuel or tires, right? And at a stage break, you can do fuel or tires, but you can't do both at the same time. So if you want to do fuel, you come down pit road, under caution and pit, but if you want tires, you got to come back down again and pit. So what you're trying to do is minimize the number of times that you're on pit road. So what you're going to see here in just a moment, you're going to see some cars that pitted under green and made their tire change. They were able to make a tire change because they went from wet tires to slick tires. That's enabled because of the rain on the racetrack. They're going to come in and only do fuel. These other guys, they're going to have to do fuel and tires. So they'll pit twice. The other guys will pit once. The guys that only pit once will start in front of the people that pit twice.
And when you stay within the 80 seconds maximum per stop and you don't have any penalties, you get to retain that position you had on the racetrack. Remember, the crews servicing the cars today are the mechanics, engineers, etc., that you would bring to the racetrack anyway, not the specialized pit crews that you would normally see, and that's what alternative pitting is all about. The logistics involved, the expense involved, and maybe even some of the differences that you can see in strategy are why they made the decision at NASCAR to do this alternative pitting today. Parker?
Well, guys, we look at A.J. Allmendinger there in the lead. This is going to be a hollow stage victory because he wanted to pit with 2 laps to go and put slick tires on that car so they could come down under this stage break and put fuel like many of the cars we saw that pitted there just before the caution came out. Except Chris Rice, who's calling the shots at 16, told me they didn't see the 4 car in the gravel trap until it was too late, until they were past them. He didn't have TV down there. He didn't get the info soon enough, so they were not able to get to pit road before that caution came out. This is going to severely hurt their track position because they're going to have to pit once for tires to go from those wet tires to slicks, and then they're going to have to come down again and get fuel, which is going to put them way in the back.
Gosh, that is a, you know, you wonder something also, guys. Think about there's a Cup race in Michigan that's going to happen, and a lot of times the spotters on those cars that are going to be in Michigan spot these cars. Right? And so you have a whole different mix of people around the racetrack that you normally don't have. And you wonder if a mistake like that would have happened if you had your normal people. Your normal people are more in tune with what the rules are, what's going on, what your crew chief is thinking, what the driver's thinking. It makes you wonder if a little bit of miscommunication like that, which could be a race-winning miscommunication, some of that was just not understanding all the rules and understanding how everything works.
Yeah, most of them were still going to try their best to utilize 4 spotters around, but maybe they just didn't feel like that was pertinent information at the time, but if somebody did see that. But Jeff, you alluded to earlier back before the end of stage 1 and the beginning of stage 2 that we were seeing A.J. Allmendinger really take his time and be patient coming up through. Well, we're going to see the other side of A.J. Allmendinger whenever we go into stage 3 racing.
And if you like him this week, wait till next week when at Daytona the Xfinity Series races next. They will be one of all 3 national series that will race on the Daytona road course for the first time. No practice, no qualifying. It's a historic event on an iconic road course. Coverage begins next Saturday at 3 Eastern on NBCSN. Won't want to miss that.
No, for sure.
So they will come to the checkered flag here, stage ending. And again, important especially for drivers that are racing for the championship. There's a number in the top 10 who are not, but Chastain will take his 9 stage points. Certainly Haley will take his 8 stage points. And Brandon Brown will take his 4 stage points for sure. So it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out from here. We'll let you know when we come back from break. Road America, final stage, the race to the checkers, about to begin. One thing's for sure, the NASCAR Xfinity Series drivers put on a show every single time they're on the track. And they're the only one of the National Series that races here at Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. And it has been a day to remember. In some cases, people would want to forget it, but there has been a lot to track by these drivers and teams. And up front, we're about to see something. I think Parker put it best when he said it was a hollow stage win for the 16 of Allmendinger, because he and other cars are now going to dip to pit road under this caution, and other cars who have already completed all the tire changing, all the fueling they want to do, are going to stay on the track and move to the front of the grid. And there you see Allmendinger making the move to pit road. Chastain will follow.
Yeah, I think you'll see everybody on pit road here because these guys have to do fuel. The ones that did tires still have to come on and do fuel.
But they won't stop the second time.
That's
under
correct.
these
That's right. Stop the second time.
That's
right.
Correct. That's right. There you go. So everybody on pit road now, and then NASCAR will give another don't lose your spot opportunity to pit after this. You can't do tires and fuels at the same fuel at the same time, and that's why the 2 stops. But as we said, some will only take 1 stop. Parker.
Well, guys, we see the 16 there, A.J. Allmendinger, as we discussed. He'll change tires here on this first stop under caution, as all the Kaulig cars are doing that, obviously changing tires to go to those slick Goodyears. Then they'll get done with this pit stop and come back down around their second time for fuel. Everyone else who took tires, though, as we mentioned, will come down and do fuel under this stop, which should allow them to go all the way to the end. See the 16 having to back up. 10 gets away. Remember, you don't lose positions here. You regain. They'll reset the lineup. As you see there, the 9 of Noah Gragson getting full fuel as he pitted and changed from those wets to dry tires under green.
He's going to stay there as long as he can, right? There's a maximum time on pit road under caution. You cannot spend any more than 80 seconds on pit road under caution. You want to use every second of that putting fuel in it.
And now again, as long as you didn't violate any of the rules, you'll get your spot back as you came to pit road. The next pit stop will be the critical one. Who has to drop off and do the other half of their pitting?
And you ask, and I'm sure someone's asking, why is there a maximum time under caution? It's just to prevent the teams from just sitting there. It's to prevent the teams from making too many changes on the cars. NASCAR didn't want them just sitting in on pit road. They wanted the action to still be there, so they put a maximum time that you could spend on pit road.
When we come back, the field is going to look a little bit different as they get their next opportunity to pit from Road America.
Today's 400 miles are going to be spectacular.
Clint Bowyer is the race winner. Logano across the line, winning for the third time here at Michigan. Kevin Harvick has picked up the victory here at the Michigan International Speedway.
That race at Michigan coming up at 5:02, just a little less than an hour from now, Eastern Time. And now you see the cars that didn't get their fuel or tires are now getting their fuel. They got tires the first time. Again, 2 opportunities to pit here at Road America. And remember, Cup Series action coming up immediately following this race. Green flag at 5:02 p.m.
Strategy has played a huge part in this race today, guys.
Yes, it has.
I was concerned with these rules that would take it away from it, but if anything, it's only made it that much more important.
Yeah, then you throw in the rain factor and then the tire situation there. Made it, of utmost importance to be on the right strategy for your driver.
Yeah, they've been working on this rule package for this thought about, this
alternative fitting.
For almost 2 years. They've been talking about it. And I'll have to say, it's a good time. It's a good thing they did it with the racing that we're having to do today and the scheduling. There's a race going to happen in Michigan in about 45 minutes. And how would you have pit crews here, pit crews there? It was a good time to make this happen.
You think about it, Jeff, 5 years ago, we were not doing races this way. Us located in Charlotte, the race happening in Wisconsin. That remote type of broadcasting is perfect for the times today. It has to be done. And to your point, this alternative pitting that NASCAR has introduced, it's a way to have crews have a competition on pit road, strategy to be played, but as you say, not have to commute the, shall we call them, professional pit crews back and forth from Michigan to Wisconsin. So, remember when Kaz Grala was at the back of the pack taking care of his fresh tires? Now, I'm not convinced this lineup is exactly what we're going to see before we get to green, but it looks like right now he may be the race restart leader, and things may have fallen crew chief Andy Street's way. With Kaz up at the front, he's at least going to be up in the front bunch, it appears at this point.
We saw, remember, Justin Allgaier came on pit road really early. He was one of the first guys to get on pit road to put slicks on. So, DJ, to your point, he's run some laps on his tires, more than most people have for sure. Obviously, Kaz Grala in that same situation. And behind them, this lineup's going to be difficult to set. This is going to be a challenge for NASCAR. Everybody's trying to figure out where they're supposed to go. This is one of the things that will be difficult, trying to get everybody in their right spot.
You're supposed to get your spot back, but remember, this group did not pit this time by. So how does that work out when you have cycled to the front? Allgaier, of course, in the bright red-orange number 7, former winner here. Talked to us this week about getting prepared to be at this racetrack. Excited to come here. Felt like there were some things that they could make just right in the 7, and he knew that if he was up front near the end, he'd have a decent shot. Trying to get his season back under control because it has gotten way out of control. Basically, he said, if we want something to happen on the racetrack, it doesn't. If we don't need something to happen on the racetrack, it does. And not to mention the others getting involved in the 7's woes, sometimes even his teammates. So it's been quite a year for Justin Allgaier.
Yeah, speaking of Kaz Grala there, too, I think he might have more laps on his slicks than what Justin Allgaier and a number of others do because they were on a different strategy early on. I believe he got those way early, possibly, and so then they got their fuel, and that's how he got this track position. But he's run extremely well. Also, just be a matter of seeing if those extra laps that he has on the tires makes a difference here in the end.
Yeah, we just got a shot right there of the 16 car, A.J. Allmendinger. Remember, he was leading this race. So you can see him. There he is right there. Look at all the work he's got to do to go get that back, to go try to win this race. Look at all the cars he's got to go through, along with Justin Haley, Ross Chastain. These are the guys that have been the fastest most of the day. They're going to have to find a way to roll through here without tearing their race cars up. And fast cars out front, Kaz Grala, Allgaier, Noah Gragson, Cindric, they've all run really well so far today. So if Justin Haley, if Allmendinger, Chastain are going to get themselves back up, they're going to do some fantastic work in just a few laps.
And the other thing that you see there, Jeff, all of this, the pavement isn't dry yet. So as you're trying to maneuver around these cars, you might find yourself in a situation in some of this wetter pavement with these slicks that you don't really want to be in, a chance that you might not normally take, but you're going to have to here.
Lights are off on top of the pace car. That means they're coming back to green. And Kaz Grala is listed as your leader. Interesting story is Grala, in that 21 car, began racing with his dad, endurance racing. When he moved to go-karts, basically showed up in the cheapest equipment possible. Nobody thought he could do anything, so they helped him a lot. And then Kaz started winning, and they stopped helping him. And Kaz kept winning. Cut his teeth on other road course racing series and has had a number of good opportunities in the trucks and the Xfinity series. And today, has a chance to take that blue and white number 21 to victory lane for Richard Childress.
You can see NASCAR still trying to get people lined up in the right positions here. We see drivers moving others out of the way and taking spots, and this is just NASCAR giving the orders as to where they're supposed to be lined up.
Yeah, it's difficult in a normal situation because drivers, you know, they kind of just take whatever spot they want and kind of put NASCAR in a position to have to put them back in their spot.
When they come to the start-finish line, there will be 13 laps remaining to decide it here at Road America. Will it stay dry? Will there be another caution? Who has the best tires? Who can get through traffic that just pitted and put on fresh tires? We shall see as they climb the hill toward the start-finish line. Control car is that car to the left, the 21 of Kaz Grala. He should be the first to fire up, but Justin Allgaier is going to try to make his way to the front as they head toward turn one. Here they go. Green is back out at Road America. Way down to the inside. That's Chase Briscoe. Can he make it stick? Still 3 wide. Now they fan out to 2 wide. Still a battle for the lead up front. Allgaier in the 7. The 21 is Grala.
Allgaier has the preferred line if he can hold on there, and it looks like he's going to be able to now. Be a matter of who does the best job of braking right here.
And this corner is very tough under braking. We've seen a lot of guys lock their tires up getting into this corner.
Here comes Allgaier. He makes it stick nicely into turn 5.
Look at Allmendinger. He's made a lot of spots up, had a good restart.
And a lot of time left. Cindric now going for second.
This is when it gets really aggressive. 13 laps to go.
Austin Cindric with a turn 8 pass right before the carousel. Well done.
Wow, that was a big move right there.
That was. Drove that car, just completely drove it way deep in the corner. I didn't know if he would get the thing to turn, but what a great job. That's our road racers, DJ. That's where they're so good. Driving in the corner deep, using those brakes.
Yeah, understanding what their capabilities are in situations just like that.
See that black 18 of Riley Herbst's trouble early on. He's got it back in the top 10. Herbst now running in 7th.
He's done a nice job of fighting back. Myatt Snider behind him.
Yeah, Myatt's been really solid all day. When the track's been dry, he did a great job during the rain part of it. We can see Cindric here in that 22. Wow. You see him try to dive right there and make a move.
He wants that lead. He wants it now.
Well, he knows if he doesn't get by quickly, that's going to allow some others to catch up, and then it becomes a more difficult pass to try to make on Justin Allgaier. Going to try to outbreak him here into turn 1.
Had that great outbreaking move into turn 8 last lap. He's going to do it here. Will the 22 hold? It does. Allgaier tries to do the crossover. Not going to happen.
He makes that look easy, but it's nothing but easy. To outbreak somebody, another good race car driver, by that much. Essentially, that was 2 car lengths.
Yes.
He was outbreaking to still make the corner.
And remember what Austin told us this week. That car last year, one of the worst he's ever had on the track for wheel hop. The inability to get the car slowed down without bouncing the rear tires and out of control going into the corners. He told us under the rain delay, they fixed that. They might have had some other things wrong today, but that was proof that the 22 can make it into the corner. Ryan Sieg there in the blue and black and white 39. A nice move through turn 5 for a position. Jeremy Clements trying to fight his way back. 6 car of Jade Buford there as well.
You can see on the rundown that Allmendinger's made his way up to 7th, but the problem is he's 4 seconds behind, still having to battle traffic whenever Austin Cindric's out here with a clear racetrack in front of him.
He needs some cautions in order to catch back up, and I think it's a good chance we'll have some.
The way they've been going at it here, and they're down to it. This is the final stage at Road America. 11 to go, this time by, but that is still over 45 miles, or just about 45 miles on this 4-mile racetrack.
Yeah, and I won't even start to try to figure out and multiply how many turns that is and opportunities for things to go wrong.
And Riley Herbst's doing a really good job keeping A.J. Allmendinger, one of the best road racers in the country, keeping him behind him. Doing a really nice job right here.
Yeah, I'd be careful because you don't want to get A.J. frustrated. A.J. took care of that matter, but Riley still is doing a really good job, especially from the way his day started of flat spotting his tires early on.
See those yellow stripes on Riley's back bumper? That means he's a rookie in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. A lot of experience and road course racing experience just past him. Diving down to the inside, Justin Haley trying to make a move on Myatt Snider in the yellow 93. Haley through for the position. That will be for 8th.
Yeah, that was textbook right there. A lot of times if you make that move too soon, somebody can pull down to block you there, but he waited to that last minute knowing that he could outbreak him and make that clean pass.
Snider now under assault from Alex Labbe, that red and white number 90. On board with Chastain, being fought by Sieg. Oh, Labbe, 6 in there. There's contact. Snider around. And Labbe comes to a stop. Nowhere to go, and Myatt not too happy with Alex Labbe, I'm sure.
How many times have we seen cars wreck right there? It seems like every race that is the corner.
And that is going to dump those two well out of the top 10. Myatt's ready to get back through. Someone is off in turn 6. And now, oh man, Snider's not happy.
Yeah, so Myatt needs to catch his breath here a little bit. I know he's frustrated, but
working his way around the 0 car. That was Mike Wallace. See what happens down here in turn 5.
Yeah, you can see it start to wheel hop right there. When it does that, you've got nothing else to do except correct it and try not to spin out. And unfortunately, for Myatt Snider, his correction was straight into his left rear quarter panel and spun him out.
Yeah, if you're Myatt, you don't really care what happened, right? You just know you got run into.
Careful, keep it on. We saw Chase Briscoe. That pass right there, that is for 4th. On the restart, he was 16th. We saw the bold dive down to the left-hand side of the picture, down into turn number 1, and boy, has he made up ground. 98 car.
See if Allmendinger makes a move. There he goes, trying to get underneath Nolan Gragson. Nolan's a good road racer, too. He tried to drive in there as deep as AJ, when you saw the back of the car start moving around. Now AJ in that white car has the preferred spot. Noah's going to have to give it up.
Yeah, it was almost like Noah took that glance as they got to the corner to see where AJ was and maybe just missed his mark by a couple of feet getting into turn 1. That opened the door for AJ Allmendinger to make that pass.
Parker, you've got more?
Oh, guys, I just think this is incredibly impressive what AJ's doing. I know he's a road course ace, but remember, the tires here wear a ton, especially early on, especially in that left rear as you're trying to pass cars, you get the power down, and he's basically taking care of those cars, passing cars so well. And to think, you know, we didn't really run much of this race under dry conditions. I can only count 1 or 2 cars that I saw make adjustments from those dry conditions earlier on when we ran those first few laps. So he's doing this with a car that's basically the same as they came off the truck.
We talked about him having to make passes on these cars. He was 4 seconds behind. So he's managed to make up a couple of more spots and gain some time on the leader, Austin Cindric.
See Allgaier in the red 7 and the 21 of Gralla hanging on in 2nd and 3rd. But now getting lots of pressure from Briscoe, and Allmendinger is right there. And Allmendinger just ran his fastest lap. Careful of that block there. But that was Briscoe setting up the pass on Gralla.
But it opened the door for AJ to stick his nose in there, see if he's able to complete this pass.
Boy, he just clipped off the pavement there. Plenty of room down here in Canada corner.
We talked about AJ needing a caution to make this work. Well, maybe he doesn't. I mean, you know, he can see Austin Cindric. He's been able to get a glimpse of him. And from a driver, man, that's like throwing the motivation out there. You see the leader. He's had a great drive getting back. Briscoe missed the corner right there. That's going to give AJ Allmendinger a big run down this straightaway. Now out-braking Chase Briscoe, that's going to be difficult.
Couldn't do it at Indianapolis. Can he do it here? He'll take a look. He's going to take that blocking line as Briscoe. Here comes Allmendinger.
Wow, can AJ make this corner?
Boy, not without a lot of help from Briscoe giving some room, I believe.
That was a little bit of payback from Indy, because when Briscoe outbroke Allmendinger at Indy, Briscoe acted like he wasn't there, you know, and just kind of ran him off the track. So Allmendinger was like, all right, here it is back at you. So now Allmendinger only 3.5 seconds back from Austin Cindric. Everybody should be good on fuel. Everybody should be able to run this out and run 100%. Now, if you had a green-white checkered situation, that could cause a potential problem, but I believe that everybody should be able to run as hard as they need to right here.
That's right. If the caution comes out late in this one and NASCAR has to let this race go beyond its scheduled distance, they will initiate the green-white checkered policy, and at this track, that's a long couple of laps, DJ.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you can save a lot, but even the caution laps are long, so you're using up that fuel, and then you've got 9 miles of racing to do.
Feathering that throttle through the carousel is Justin Haley. Here's a move by Haley, last corner on the track, underneath the rookie, Riley Herbst. But Herbst gets good drive off.
You want him to try to make that pass, but it just kills your momentum for this long front straightaway.
All right, let's take a look at today's Toyota driver update. Riley Herbst is certainly one of those drivers. Currently running in the 7th position. But as these road course days will work, he was as low as 30th on the day, and now taking a piece of the bumper on Noah Gragson.
Well, he won't have a lot of patience with Noah.
That's right.
Noah and he have had some issues, and Noah sent him around a few weeks ago.
Early in a race where it seemed like a little patience would have been the right call there. Here's Gralla trying to get around around Allgaier.
Allgaier's starting to fall back here as he get more laps on the tires. We talked about him being one of the first to pitch. You have to wonder if those extra laps that he has on his tires may be coming into play right now, or might just be off a little bit today.
A couple of Chevy Camaros going at it there. Ford Mustang is out front. But there is Allmendinger, now just 3 seconds behind. You can see the gap.
It's about half a second faster that lap. 3 seconds behind with 8 to go.
Does that math work out?
I'm not good at math. I normally work with Letarte. He's the math major. That's what I call him.
I think he would say that's going to work out.
Yeah, it'd be right there at it. But it's one thing catching somebody and another thing to pass them. We've seen AJ be able to do that, but has Austin Cindric been saving some tire for this situation until AJ was able to get to that second spot?
Top 3 right now have won 7 of the last 8 road course races, so they're not there by accident, I can tell you that.
Oh, this is an aggressive move right here. Made it work.
Justin Haley through to 7th. And bright sunshine now bathes 640-acre Road America. Folks, if you were on board with Haley or you look at these shots and you think, man, this would be a great place for a picnic or a day to hang out with the family, well, you're right, but it's 10 times better with cars driving in anger around its 4 miles. This is what people come for, and it has been a day full of everything for the fans here at Road America. Hey, let's check back in on our buddy Jesse Iwuji, his first Xfinity Series start today. Remember, made his way up through the ladder system of NASCAR. Lieutenant Commander in the Naval Reserves, and is having a good run of it today because, I say, guys, the car is in one piece, and Jesse hasn't ended up in the gravel trap.
Yeah, he's still going around, and that's a major accomplishment, especially the first time at a place and a difficult road course like this.
Ahead of them, it's this great battle right here. Allgaier trying to hold these guys off. But look at this 18 car making a move. Riley Herbst, Parker, he is on a mission today.
He is, Jeff. This is incredibly impressive. He ran down Casgrove side by side and Allgaier there. He's flying right now. You know, he told me he doesn't have a lot of experience on road courses, especially not here. He jumped in that Trans Am car like Harrison did as Haley looks the inside of him as well. But he said, you know, I used to hate road course racing. This is great racing right here. And now I love it. He said, I love the technique of it. I love trying to learn and get better at it. I'd say he's got it. Oh, Scott Hecker spun out here, guys.
Yep. Scott is off of the track, and he's in a little bit of gravel there. He doesn't look too deep right now.
Uh-oh. Justin Haley around.
That's coming out of the carousel.
We saw that tight racing those guys were doing.
Yeah, you have to wonder if there was some contact there.
And Heckert is outside of turn 6, so he's at the top of the hill, just off course, but it doesn't appear that he can get any fire in the 78 car.
I know who wants it to get fired up. Austin Cindric.
Yeah.
Yes. He does not want a caution.
This battle now looking good back here. That's Andy Lally in the 02 car. He's in 9th. Harrison Burton running in 11th. I haven't cycled quite through yet. And now Haley getting a challenge from Jeremy Clements. Whoa, Haley dirt tracking it. Oh, man.
Huh.
Herbst with a little bit too much aggression right there.
Yeah, I don't think he appreciated the way Justin Haley came up and maybe made the pass on him, but it looked like that Haley was just doing a really good job of taking advantage of that.
That right there looked pretty clean to me.
Yeah.
It's a spot where you're on the edge of adhesion anyway, but Haley looks a little out of shape there.
Well, he's out there, but you can see the contact here. Anytime that a car goes straight like the 18 did right there, that means that you had hit that and you weren't able to turn at that point in time. So there was definite contact.
See our peacock on the upper right is turned yellow. That is for Scott Heckert. So Parker, there's still some fresh Goodyear tires there down on pit road?
There is, and if you remember last year, Austin Cindric pitted with a couple laps to go and was able to drive, I think it was something like outside top 20, back into the top 5. Everyone noted that, so I believe, and I've talked to a lot of crew chiefs about this, especially if you're outside the top 5, it may be worth coming and get tires. Where it's tough, Austin Cindric, AJ Allmendinger, those in the top 3, Chase Briscoe, this is real decision time if you want those tires or not.
Oh, I had a crew chief tell me if I'm leading and the caution comes out with 5 to go, I'm coming.
Yeah, you know, Austin Cindric also, we talked to him this week. He said that the tire wear here and the tire fall off, meaning how much slower they get on old tires, reminded him of Homestead. And Homestead is one of the worst places that we go with these cars. So there's a tremendous amount of fall off. But I just don't think you can give up that track position. Sure. I think if you're leading, you just can't give it up.
I mean, there's 30 cars on the lead lap here. I don't know how you go about giving that up when a lot of these guys would love to see those top guys come in and just stay out and get what they can.
Yeah, if you can't. So let's go back. Let's think about Jeremy Clements sitting there in 11th. He's not going to win the race from there.
Yeah.
Right? Hit pit road, put tires on, try to drive through the field. Hope you get a couple cautions. You know, those are the guys, in my opinion, back here, you know, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th on back. What do you have to lose? There's a potential for a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, right? If you go try to do something different than everybody else does. Even, you know, I would go with Noah Grexken. Noah has been falling back. He's not been able to keep pace. I think a guy like that would be well served to hit pit road.
What you need is a good t-shirt, and you know where you can get one, right? NASCAR.com/shop. That's where you get all your gear, hats, die-casts, t-shirts. It's a huge selection. So go online now and check it out. Find your favorites. I bet one of them might be running up front here, but what do they do? What choice do they make as far as pit road goes? A lot of speed in those Goodyear tires if they put them on, but as you guys talked about, track position, also a big consideration here. Looks like some Penske guys getting ready there. That would be leader Austin Cindric's pit.
Yeah, they're going to show that they're going to pit no matter what. To try to steal a win.
Not enough.
No. No.
And there's the decision. Looks like the 36 of Parda stays out, the 39 of Sieg, and the 99 of Bilicki. That worked well for Bilicki for a few laps earlier, but boy, there's no room behind him with all this fresh tire coming their way, Parker.
All right, AJ Allmendinger gets the benefits of that awesome drive to the field. He was told, do whatever the 22 does. So you saw that late turn in by Austin Cindric. He followed him in. That is going to be 4 slick Goodyear tires for AJ Allmendinger getting on the 16. Also the same for Austin Cindric. 1 and 4 Goodyear tires, as you saw, came down pit road. As you mentioned, the tire wear here is so high. Even just a couple laps left, they felt like it was this important to get on pit road, guys.
All right, these crews now finishing up their work, and the driver exiting before the 82nd mark, and they will get their positions back. And those are positions on the track behind those that stayed out. So at this point, we see, again, Pardus, Sieg, Bilicki, and Mike Wallace stayed out as well.
There you have it, 6 cars.
I'm shocked that more of those didn't stay out.
You know, it fascinates me that, you know, you got this many cars in the lead lap. If you're way back there running, why 10 of you don't try to stay out and make something happen? I mean, you never know. You could get a quick caution, and then you know, you just never know. I love some of these guys doing it, though. What do they have to, what do these guys have to lose as an opportunity to gain something in a huge way?
Well, we've seen so much chaos, right, in the past. If that happens behind these guys and takes out some of those front runners with the fresh tires, there you go. Advantage staying out.
Yeah, just not like you, DJ. I don't think enough of them stayed out. You can see pretty close right here. There's Austin Cindric in that yellow car. He's going to line up with tires. You know, it's probably not enough.
No.
The question is going to be, though, what lane goes?
Yes.
Because A.J. Allmendinger is going to line up right with Austin Cindric, right? And those are our two fastest cars, two best drivers today. Who's in the right lane right here? Who's going to be in the lane that they need to be in to make something happen? That's going to be really fun to watch.
You know, if this ending is really good, we ought to replay it on Peacock, right? NBC Universal's new streaming service. It's filled with hit movies, current shows, sports, news, exclusive originals, including Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Lost Speedways, which is available to stream now. Join the flock at PeacockTV.com. I swear, some of those places Junior goes, you're like, was there really a racetrack there?
Yeah.
By the way, that voice you'll be able to hear at 5:02 Eastern Time, calling the green flag at Michigan International Speedway. That race is coming up. We'll head to Michigan right after we're done here at Road America. You can see the first of a doubleheader from the Michigan International Speedway. Big weekend of racing for NASCAR, and the trucks raced last night. Congratulations to Zane Smith, first-time winner in the Gander Outdoors Truck Series.
That was a crazy race.
Yeah, it was.
Crazy restarts. Expect more of that here in about 30 minutes from Michigan. I think the Cup race will be equally crazy on restarts and running all over that racetrack.
So it's just the word of the weekend then, crazy.
Yeah.
I like it.
And so when you tune in and you stay tuned in here to watch that, you're going to see them have a choose rule as to which lane they want to be in on restarts. And they'll explain all of that. Jeff, you guys will take care of all of that. But there's only one guy here this afternoon that gets the choice as we get to this restart as to whether he wants the inside or outside here. Everybody else will be designated as to which lane they're in by their running spot with this. So as you pointed out, you were talking about, Jeff, which lane is going to go? Who's going to get the benefit of that? Is it going to be Cindric or is it going to be Allmendinger?
I know one thing, they're both going to be pushing the issue driving into turn one. You know, they're going to try to get a great launch, right? They have better tires than the guys in front of them, and on restarts, that's huge because the guys on old tires, when they go to the throttle, the rear tires are just sitting there spinning. It's hard to get rear grip. These new tires, they're going to launch with rear grip, and they're going to have an opportunity to make an advance on them, and then where can they go? I'm not going to be surprised to see them four wide into turn one with Cindric and Allmendinger trying to outbrake the guys in front of them.
Yeah.
If you're unfamiliar with the front of the pack right now, that white number 36, that's Preston Pardus, a 23-year-old from New Smyrna Beach, Florida, and he will be flanked by the journeyman 39 driver Ryan Sieg. Usually makes the playoffs in that car, headed that way again. Would love to make it outright with a win here this afternoon. Parker?
Well, guys, I'm going to say advantage Austin Cindric on this restart, simply because of the lane, as you guys mentioned, that he's in on the inside. They're going to turn one, and because of that pit lane, exit lane that we see used all the time in these restarts, he will have the advantage to be able to turn right, getting over there. It's risky, and we've seen guys drop tires on the inside, and you hop over that curb, but if you can get over there and outbrake some of those cars in front of you, he could get ahead and away from Allmendinger.
Yeah, I remember the year that didn't go right for Jacques Villeneuve and got off there and wrecked the front of the field?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, sometimes you can't exactly see that because you're trying to anticipate everything, so it's really easy to drop the right side tires off the pavement and then create a really bad situation for yourself and many others.
Trouble for the 52 car there. Cody Vanderwall, a little smoke showing from the Jimmy Means car. See if he drops that onto pit road or if that's something that's going to fix itself. It usually doesn't.
No.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, watch this restart. Just watch and see if this front row and the second row, how it gets rolling and how it affects the third row where we see the guys with new tires. This race could be won right there in the launch zone.
Hardest in the 36, Sieg in the 39. The 99 is Balicki. The 0 is Mike Wallace. And then you have the guys with new tires. Here they come back to the green. Watch and listen. The final laps winding down here at Road America. Before to go this time by. We see one car dropping off. I think that's Anderson in the 07. So he's got problems as the leaders come back to the green. Getting to the restart zone. Pardus is the one who needs to fire off first. He does it. Got a good launch in that 36 car. There he goes to the right side, the left side of your screen. The yellow 22 of Austin Cindric. Can he make it work? Passing cars. Here comes the 98 of Briscoe. Somehow they make it. Oh, around goes Allgaier. Off of the 21 of Casgrala. Huge hit into the barrier.
That was a big hit.
Wow. Caution is out on the track. Jeffrey Earnhardt involved there too, and you see Justin Allgaier driving what's left of that 7 car away. Oh, Snyder got the worst of that as well. Well, you remember what Kyle Busch said last week when things didn't go right. He said, well, it's still 2020. And I'm sure Justin Allgaier is thinking the same thing. This has just not been his year.
Well, Justin even went further back. He said it's been like that since 18.
Yes, that's what he told us the other day.
And now Mike Snyder's just going to pull off the track. 93 blowing up. See if we can tell where things get started.
Oh, he and Kaz Grala.
Yeah. See, Justin went to kind of block that attempted pass there. Grala wasn't having any of that, not backing out. And, you know, when you're at this time of the race with 4 laps to go, you pretty much stay in it.
After hitting walls that have the safer barriers on them, and then you hit that concrete wall, there is a very big difference in how hard that impact into that concrete wall is.
Remember we talked about Jeremy Clements below the cutoff line coming into today's race, and this is not going to net him a lot of points at the end of today. There's Jeremy Clements on the left-hand side of your screen. He's already picked up some signage, and boom, also with a very hard hit off those barriers. Parker?
Well, Dave, as we look at some of these smaller teams that have wrecked cars like Myatt Snider's and Jeremy Clements, you know, many of them were telling me with this stretch of races, they were hoping to be able to take the car from this race, turn it around for next week at Daytona Road Course. So this puts a lot of those teams in a bit of a bind, especially for 2 of our bubble teams there in terms of Jeremy Clements and Myatt Snider.
That's right there. You see Myatt climbing out of the 93. Good to see him okay. Car not so much. Yeah, Clements' race car told us this week that was when he's been racing for a couple of years. It was an upgrade to his favorite road course car that he won with. But I don't know. What do you think, DJ? Prepared for next week?
Oh, that's going to be a lot of work in a short amount of time there.
Yeah, you also think about, you know, the restrictions that teams have on them right now. They're not able to work at the force that they've been able to work at with limited number of people in the shop at the same time. There's a lot. It's much more challenging today than it was at this point last year.
Just past the top of the hour. We'll be going Cup Series racing from Michigan right here on NBCSN. Don't go anywhere. We've used the word crazy. We've seen all weekend. We don't know what they have in store, but great racing for sure at Michigan International Speedway. All right, 3 to go this time. Remember, if they get to past the scheduled distance, and there's a lot to clean up out there, we'll go to a overtime situation and have unlimited attempts at a green-white checkered finish. Not that the day has been long enough already.
Yeah. We thought stage 1 lasted a long time.
This is Scott Heckert.
We talked about
Stopped
it
on
too.
track.
If this goes too long, you know, some guys, you could have fuel issues.
Yeah.
I mean, you listen, under caution, you're saving a tremendous amount of fuel. You're not burning anywhere near the fuel that you burn under green, but you know, when they pitted, it was pretty clear they could make it, but some guys could get in trouble with a green-white checkered situation.
Yeah, and you have to keep up here. Even though you might be able to turn that car off and coast a little bit, you have to keep up your position, or NASCAR, the driver behind you can go past you. So you don't want to be falling asleep at the wheel, so to speak, and not doing your job. There's more to just riding around and saving fuel. You have to make sure that you keep up.
Maintain pace, right? So we'll dip away for a quick break. Come back for the finish of the Henry 180 from Road America. See what can happen. We have no idea. You'll want to tune in. NBC Sports on Sirius XM. It's NASCAR Channel 90 on the radio. Live Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Replay at 10 a.m. This coming week, it'll be the Dinger. Regardless of what happens here, right now he runs in 5th. Boy, if he could talk about a trophy he brought home, wouldn't that be so much better? But we're a long way from that. We're a long way from Michigan over here in Wisconsin. That is coming up next on NBCSN. Just across the lake, I guess, if you, as the crow flies, DJ, not that far.
Not that far.
They're getting set to go 400 kilometers, 312 miles at the 2-mile high banked oval.
You'll watch me going up 85 here in a minute. It's going to look like a race.
Dale, Jeff Burton headed up to the Charlotte Motor Speedway to help call the race. And, once again, remote locations, the way we get things done today. The call is from Concord. The race is in Michigan. I don't know if old Vanderwall is going to make it to the checkers there.
All right, there's a lot of cars you could say that about.
That's probably true. Again, resetting the front row. Pardus in the 36. The blue and white 39, that is Sieg. The 22, that yellow car, that is Austin Cindric. And then the man to me that's been making a lot of the bold moves on the restarts is that black car to the right, that 98 of Chase Briscoe. Don't forget row 3, the 99 of Balicki. So many laps here as an instructor. And to his side, A.J. Allmendinger. All right, here we go. Pace car is gone. The field is in the hands of the starter. It's actually in the hands of the control car, which is Preston Pardus once again. Pardus on the left. He'll come to the restart zone. And what can he do with 2 to go here at Road America? He's going to take it, and jumping to the lead is Austin Cindric. Down to the inside, here comes Allmendinger. They're both going to get by Pardus. Oh, no! Allmendinger nearly spun by the 98 of Briscoe.
Briscoe got off of him, though. Briscoe, they made contact. Briscoe let him get it collected back up. Oh, the AT car had a good day. Having a problem right at the end.
Riley Herbst off in turn 3. Race away. Allmendinger has him in his sights.
These are the 3 drivers that we talked about before the show that it might come down to once again, just like Indy.
Gralla finding his way by Pardus.
Remember these cars, Pardus and several of these other guys, they have old tires on.
White car in that mix, the 02. That is Andy Lally, experienced road course racer. He now runs in 8th position. See those cars wiggle late in the day. Those brakes have given all day long. Do they have anything left? Ooh, Harrison Burton, a little tough into Josh Balicki there. That's the gap, 1st to 2nd. They're coming to the white flag. A.J. Allmendinger crossed a career milestone for himself earlier this year when he won on an oval in this with this very same team. Now he's trying to get up to Cindric so he can pass him, get another victory on what he knows best, the road courses.
Well, Cindric looks really good on the exit of these corners, Jeff.
Yeah, Cindric did a nice job on that restart. Has built a little bit of a gap. That's going to make Allmendinger have to push extra hard. Cindric came lead laps a days ago, going to have to continue to push, but has a little bit of ground that he can give up in those really difficult corners.
One lap to go, sponsored by Credit One. Can Austin Cindric hold off A.J. Allmendinger? Can Briscoe have anything happen in front of him now to catch up to these first two? He's fallen back just a bit.
Yeah, so that was one high braking opportunity that's gone by the wayside. There's only a couple more, and we're going to come up to turn 5 where there's another one. But right now, Austin Cindric doing everything right.
Austin loves this track. It has every type of corner. And he said if your car's good and you're heading into a corner that you want to be going into every single lap, it's the way to have fun in NASCAR, and he's had fun so far today. Just 9 corners remaining for him.
Yeah, really smooth through there that time. No wheel hop at all. Good exit.
Behind them, Kaz Grala in that 21 car. Good solid day for him in 4th. Cindric just doing a nice job, being smooth.
We asked Austin Cindric earlier this week if he liked being considered the favorite coming into a race. He very humbly said, I just like being in the conversation. But he said about today, knowing what to do with no practice, no qualifying, he said it's a tough road, but you know what you're doing, and he does. He's confident in what he can do. Can be the best outcome possible, and right now he's got just a few corners left to make it at Road America.
He did a great job in the carousel there, not letting AJ get any closer.
Austin Cindric, both of these guys know this racetrack so well. They know the opportunities to make a mistake. They know the opportunities to make ground. See A.J. Allmendinger pushing his car really hard, sliding the back of it.
Coming to the final corners, Austin Cindric. Can he win at Road America? We told you at the beginning of the broadcast, in 10 races, there have been 10 different winners, and squealing their tires through the final turn, trying to make it happen. Austin Cindric is going to be the 11th different winner at Road America in 11 races. So you will be able to hear from the winner, Austin Cindric, during the Michigan Cup Series race. We've gone just a little long here at Road America this afternoon, but we'll make sure we talk to Austin Cindric, and we'll hear from him. Unofficial results rolling on your left-hand side. A little congratulatory tap from Allmendinger there, and Austin Cindric captures another win, another trophy. And of course, his 4th win of the season, trying to become champion in NASCAR's Xfinity Series. What a race, guys.
Yeah, that was incredible. Really good driving, and the drivers that we anticipated being there for the win at the end were the ones that were right there. But Austin Cindric showed just how good he is. What a season he is having.
Again, the road course regular ran off 3 in a row on the ovals, so he's checked that box off now. It's a very championship-looking season so far for Austin Cindric, but the playoffs are coming, and they are not easy in this series. See how the playoff picture looks now as he does his celebratory burnouts down in the turn 5 area. It's about the only time you want to get off the track there. Here's how it looks. There's Cindric with that 4th win. And the playoff points, DJ, he was several markers behind. Now he's right up there with Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, just doing everything that he needs to do to make all of this happen. And we look back there in that 12th spot. We talked about the cutoff. Brandon Brown, once again, trouble at the start of this race. They got that fixed. He went out and had a really good day and increased that lead. He ended up finishing 12th in the race.
Clements crashed. He's now 53 out just below the cut line. Moving on toward the playoffs, there will be 8 races remaining for this group till they get to the playoffs beginning at Las Vegas. Been quite a day at Road America. A lot of action on track. Some cars got off track. There was weather. We had to deal with that. Rain tires went on. Rain tires came off. And there was plenty of beating and banging, which people expect. So for Dale Jarrett and Jeff Burton and Parker Kligerman, I'm Dave Burns saying thanks. We send you over to Michigan International Speedway right now.